You mean
This
like
map.
exact prediction or just who wins? Because if
Wins
it's
this map.
just, yeah, I feel like this is gonna be G2, but we'll see. Like this is just on paper, right?
On paper,
We'll
of
see.
course. Exactly. There's no way to know until the cookie crumbles, and we'll see just how that happens as we get into the game here, ladies and gentlemen. The first map of the day, BO3 Icebox, as G2 start in the defense, and straight away NIP looking to bring the fight to them on the pistol round, rushing right through mid onto the B site. They've already overwhelmed Pith, but he has a little bit of support, quick rotations from the mid hold, and A site. They've left it completely open, knowing the plant is coming in. Now all they have to do is defend in the post plants, but look at the HP. Everyone's so low. NIP still winning these duels as a Kukos, aka Existence, pulls it off. JD up behind, catches Artis in the back, and leaves it all down to one. It's Patatek healing himself up, has to hit the shot, but he can't deal the damage to Kriya. So 1-0 we go, and a swift start, a very confident start for NIP with 1-0.
Yeah, this is actually a very interesting start because from judging on the first 15 seconds of past Icebox maps for NIP, they actually do almost always go into mid, you know? And felt like G2 wasn't prepared for that. I really like the way Existence just pushed in through mid, went on B side with those flashes, and I think that was mixwell just being flashed on default, was really caught off guard by that. So that was a really nice and fast execution. And look at that, they always try to like put that pressure now, 2 rounds in a row. Instant pressure. I really like that NIP approach.
The only problem that could come into play is the fact that obviously G2 at this point, they could have went for the likes of a stinger buy or something like that, and already we switched to mixwell and see a Bucky in his hand. If you're NIP, you have to be very cautious of these second round buys. That's an aftershock kill onto Patatek, back right of A. He got pushed into the open, I think tagged up a little bit, and so just a very...
I was surprised by that kill. Like maybe it was a combo with the slow from Sage. I didn't exactly see it, but that was a nice kill.
It must have been tagged as well because he was so far back from it, so he would have only got hit by the very edge.
Okay, so I can explain that. The aftershock got actually buffed, secretly buffed this patch. It has a higher, longer range by 1/3 of it, but it deals full damage.
Are we
on it as well.
Are we playing on that patch though, or are we playing on the old patch? I think EU is on one patch behind, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
1.2. Yeah, so
It's a good question. Lul.
well, either way, whatever happened, he's dead, and so too is the round, the hopes of winning it. But there wasn't too much of an investment. We said, obviously, there could be the Stinger force buy from G2, and that's where things get dangerous. But if you're playing as they did, they don't expect to win that round. They lose it with the weaker weapons. They obviously didn't go for that force buy, and now they can afford a full buy for the most part. But with 2-0 on the board, losing this round would be detrimental. You do not want to see this one go into the hands of NIP if you're a G2 fan, because then the money goes to hell and the rounds start to really clock up. Patatek, it's so smart! He puts down the wall but pushes. They hear the sound cue. They think he's gone. He gets one, but now he's stuck. This is the problem. Still getting a second kill, running away and making it at least up to his wall where he awaits the sweet release of death. A player caught up here, mixwell in trouble, being pushed down by 3, and a pre-fire from Rhyme eliminates him. A 3 versus 3, a huge start by Patatek, and his teammates come to save him in middle, but they have to mount a retake as they've lost the B site. A slow comes in, and they might be hesitant to actually go for this. At this point, you could be about to get hit by some shock darts, peeks in through the smoke, and there's nothing to really block off. Sure, they can smoke it, but that doesn't stop a Sova recon from coming through, which is already back up online for Artis. They have to be very careful about going for this spike plant. They want to wait it out and pretend they're not here, but there we go. The tag just about gets out, and so they know that the players are here. G2 are ready, and they're sticking around. Planning the spike is going to be tough. They'll have to find the kills first, and Kriya gets dropped to leave a Kukos, or Existence, all alone in the 1v2.
That will always make me laugh, you know, that name. But yeah, Existence putting weight in this round, but it's still not over. The lack of Sage for the attackers is a huge fumble right now. Wow, he actually gets that? That's insane. 1 versus Patatek, who did so much this round. He actually had a triple kill already. 1 kill from Patatek, from Zeke, And now 1v1. It's gonna be nuts. He knows the position.
Oh, but look at this.
Will he use the ultimate?
It's the Rolling Thunder. He can just wait it out. And the thing is, at this angle, if they tap it, it's going to push them out. But a preemptive one, it's actually, I think it's dodged. It was Patatek. He was waiting for the peak, but he taps it now, blinded up, makes it away to safety. Time is ticking away. The heal comes into play, taps it again. Oh, he's going to be hit by it, but he dodges it just about. The peak's still there from existence, and a 4K to close it out. I could have sworn Patatek was within that fault line, but just about sidestepped it. Existence reveals himself, goes back in. The shot missed by Patatek. That was crazy. But a third round now in the bag for NIP. They are looking good. Also, I've just noticed that everybody else has got NIP. We just opened the scoreboard again. They've got the tag NIP in caps, but Existence has gone for it with a lowercase I. They've whiffed it.
He likes to put the dot on the I, just like he did this round. You know? It's actually insane how solo performed, two players solo performed this entire round. Zeke and Existence, they made those rounds. Only them, you know? Both of them made the difference in those rounds, and Existence closed it out, which I didn't think will happen, to be honest. Like, Existence pulling weight in this match, when he, in previous matches for the past 3 rounds, his average damage is only 108 per round. Like, this is not his average game. And this is the second time he performs so well in this tournament.
That's exactly what we want, though, right? We want to see Existence reaching those new heights, more comfortable with the game, but more importantly, with the team. Now, we've had a little bit of investment coming in from G2, and not just economically, or rather in credit. Whoops. Mixwell's just been hit in the head by that.
Yeah,
doesn't do any damage.
But he doesn't know that he's in it, because if someone is inside of the cage when it's activated, it doesn't trigger the sound.
Exactly. Oh, that's an awkward fight. Patatek gets away with murder, finds the kill and the information early, and it doesn't cost them that much, really. A man disadvantage, but with the ultimate of Mixwell, that could be the difference maker. That's what we're looking to. Has no updrafts left to get above that smoke, but Pith and Artis, what is going on? They've shut them down, and Mixwell, the cherry on top, flying those knives into Chihuahua, picking up a Vandal, and a first round for G2. That is a disastrous loss for NIP.
Yeah, this is just back-to-back, like, backstabs for both of those teams. G2 that felt bad for sure, losing the full buy round against a bonus round from NIP. But NIP, I feel like this is like uncalled for. The way they just dueled the pistols for no reason without the plant. That was really awkward position to be in, and now they lost all of that cash that they won in the previous round. So this is not the best possible execution. But Mixwell with the kill right now on Long B. This is something that he needed in the previous rounds, but he goes aggressive and he's gonna pay the price.
Ooh, he almost got away with that as well. Caught Korea in the shoulder, and Pith is there for the trade. Still the man advantage to play with, and altogether I think that's a positive situation. NIP, obviously they've invested themselves with the way these previous rounds have gone down. They were happy to lose the... Well, I'm sure they weren't happy about it, but they lost it. They still had some cash in the tank. They still got a little bit more to do, though. You got to look at that res that's about to come through. Mixwell brought back to life, but as that happens, Artis gets dropped on a little bit of over-aggression down middle through Tube. With that, a 3 versus 3, the back being watched in a very sneaky little position. We don't see that too often. But Chihuahua, having secured their back, all they have to do is plant that spike. Still a wall in play for JD if he wants to throw it up. And I thought maybe towards the defender spawn you would see it come into play. But no, he's now walking that way though, so maybe...
Oh, this is going to be awkward timing. Awkward timing for both, but Chihuahua wins that duel. That was really awkward timing for him, because he still had the camera available, but now the retake is happening on A side. Both players coming from different angles. JD with the upper hand. He's gonna see that head. Piff pays the price for that peak. Playing so well, man. I'm really impressed.
NIP are looking really, really good right now. You cannot underestimate this team. And as I said, coming in, you know, we're looking at JD, we're looking at Rhyme to do a lot of this heavy lifting, but a new player has entered the server. His name is Chihuahua. And we knew as well, you know, when we saw this pickup go through JD and Chihuahua, those two are absolutely unbelievable. But the role that Chihuahua plays is generally quite reserved, shall we say. He's playing on the sites by himself. He's very... very patient and cautious because you don't want to be throwing away opportunities or throwing away your utility rather by dying in the early round. So, and there's the standard Viper setup that we've seen, but they actually just ran through the wall after he popped it, knowing that he wouldn't have his weapon out, he wouldn't be holding it. The one way will still allow Korea to get a little bit of an angle, but the player's already crossed back from yellow. They're going to clear that out with the drone now, which is on its way forward. They've seen Viper as Pith destroys it, and they know now that yellow is more than likely clear, but they'll still make sure. Paranoia followed by a teleport across. Now they've got that control. The question is, what do they do with it? Both smokes still remaining for Korea, but look at G2. They fully rotated into position. 4 players here with Zeke solo holding the A site. Not only that, but they have a Hunter's Fury online, which can seriously delay any plant if they wait too much longer. This is dangerous, and they've spotted a player back yellow. They know that they're there at this point. A shock dart has come through as well. Oh, that was from the defenders, excuse me. So I was going to say they knew Sova was there, but never mind. Korea going to go for the TP, but it's towards the back of B, so they still know this is going to be a B hit.
Yeah, they exactly knew where he's teleporting, so this is a signal, a huge signal to go for that. Now the counter ult from Pith, but he dies instantly, so that's not a factor anymore. Mixwell the kill from the backside, but this is awkward. This is still awkward for both of the teams. Look at that battle. Look at the battle in the mid.
This is an interesting duel Chihuahua. He's going to tank the Hunter's Fury, but he got the kill first. The problem is in a 1v3, it's just not winnable. That defuse is going to come through, and with that, the round is going to go the way of G2. But it's just about. I mean, we still get a tight one on that. I do feel like NIP stalled a little bit, though. They had an idea in the early round. They wanted to force the fight, but as soon as Pith made it away, they just didn't quite figure out what else to do.
I feel like this is the problem with the B side. The only real way of planting the bomb right now for NIP to actually get that side is using the Sage Wall. But if that doesn't happen instantly or is just instantly destroyed, they're gonna struggle because everything can be just shoot through a wall. You know, you can always penetrate those walls and delay those plants or just straight out kill someone who's planting, and that's a big problem for the B side. So when they are slow like that, they're gonna pay the price because they already G2 is taking control of it. They're ready to retake, they're ready to delay everything, and that's a huge problem. This is where Chihuahua should have probably lurked earlier and open either that A side for rotation or just make sure that there's a flank going in and threaten G2's position before the plant.
Exactly. It just felt very stalled. And I think, oh, I thought he saw a foot there and realized it was no player. It was like the bit at the very edge of the orb baited me. Didn't bait Korea, luckily. He's all good with it. Now, in the 4-2 score line, where NIP are at, losing this probably equalizes things. They've got to get back in there. They're up against a decent set of ultimates coming through from G2, but not ones that are likely to be used, with Zeke being the last to rotate in. You have a res as well, and that res can completely change the round and going for this early aggression, but not if your Sage dies. The wall, it's being spammed on just to destroy it, but Pith receives a lot of damage in return, down to just 14 HP. They revive up existence, and a man advantage is now there with Pith super low and no Sage to heal him and even make it slightly easier to take these fights. Getting back in is going to be damn difficult now.
Not only that, but the revival of existence actually gives the advantage of having the ult as well. But did you see that shot from Kra? That was insane.
Absolutely nutty stuff. Putting it into a 2-man advantage, and oh, well, they've even committed the Rolling Thunder to it. Maybe a little bit early. At this point, I feel like you probably just save if you're G2. Pith falls, and more weapons lost as they eventually decide to turn tail and run towards A. Save what they can, but Artis is caught. JD now on his way to pursue a little bit further. Zeke has stalled and towards the spawn, and he could be in trouble. There's 2 players closing in on him. He finds the first, but JD shuts him down. And with that, 5-2, no weapon saved for G2. I really felt like in that 3v5, they had the chance to carry them all forward, and they just overstayed their welcome a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that save of the weapon on G2 was instrumental, especially if that would have been an operator, but they didn't even pick it up. For NIP, losing a weapon is not really that big of a deal. They still have the economy just working for them, so they have an advantage. We have to remember, this map is actually attack-based map. So winning 5-2 for NIP is not like, the end of the world for G2, but it's definitely not looking good for them. At least there's a 1v1 trade right now, but it still is as a disadvantage for the defenders being, on the same amount of players from both sides. It's easier for it to attack with the same amount of with this amount of players available.
Exactly. It's like the map stays the same size, right? But you don't have the same amount of players to defend it. So the attackers are always going to have the advantage in being able to just take the numbers duels. You have the wall put up outside of B, and exactly what we talked about before, Lothar. Chihuahua lurking, but he's actually pushing up and finding some information, finding some space for his team. It's a big risk, but it's paying off here. He's cleared everything, well, after this little corner, and they'll then know that there's no pith in and around this area. Maybe he's playing backside, but Chihuahua, he's just wide swinging. He knows at this point, he has a feeling that this is completely open, but it looks like he's going to go for the flank. Rhymes being caught off by a stinger, and with that, okay, they pull it right back into a 3 versus 2. The B side already secured as Chihuahua pushes up into the back lines, and with that,
that's his job.
Oh, hold on, they hear the steps. They know at this point that the players are on their way towards B, but they don't know where Chihuahua is. He should be the one that secures this round.
Chihuahua is the instrument of success for NIP. If he gets the informations, he gets a duel somewhere, even, you know, he gets a kill, that's gonna change the entire way of the round. But here, still a good trade. 10 seconds left. Only one player left. Goes for the safe plant, which is very important. Artist flanking a little bit. He has the time. He has a good weapon. But that's it.
The Guardian, man, that could have worked out. All he needed was the headshot on the follow-through. Korea with the perfect swing on that. But at the same time, kind of lined up with his teammate. I was getting worried. But Artist doesn't get away with murder this time in 6 rounds for NIP. On paper, G2 looked like the favorites to take this. But again, you have to remember that 13-10 scoreline that we had before, we saw that NIP were capable of taking G2 all the way. And in fact, if I remember correctly, and I better pull it up to double check myself, to fact check it. But if I remember, G2 got off to a pretty good start on that map. And it was almost like NIP had warmed up into it. I'm going to go back and find that game now.
You know what I really wanted to say about NIP? It's so cool to see JD, the best performing player from them, on Sage. He will get so much value from that ultimate. It's insane, especially on such a big map like Icebox. There will be so many just good occasions to get a res, and which is also very important because they play such a ultimate heavy composition. Having a Sage that reses so much will give additional orbs to another player as well, because he dies and gets resed, so he gets additional orbs because of that. That is insanely valuable, especially with Existence on Breach, who has a 7-point ult as well.
We're talking through this because it looked like this round was done and dusted, right? A 4 versus 2. All of a sudden, 2 big kills come in. Artist, though, left on 11 HP, still gets the kill. That plant can't come through anymore, and they know it. Up on the ropes, Existence has shown himself, and the swing comes around from Pith. 1 HP, he's almost gone, almost done. The classic even comes out to close the round. They've seen him in the box, and Pith with a wall bang from a classic and a buy round to finish it 6-3. Now, last time that we saw this game go down, it was a 5-4 lead for NIP that then spiraled a little bit, but on the attacking side, G2 just demolished. I think they got like 8 rounds straight or something like that. It was unbelievable. So the tougher side, the one we should be worried about, is still to come. That said, the 6-2 start with a 4 versus 2 to get 7, that looked like, you know, easy pickings, right? Even if you have a slow start in the defense, you're walking away with a good score line and you've got the room to maneuver. But after losing that round, the impact could be huge.
That is great. I'm not really worried about G2's position yet, but we'll have to get that halftime to see how it goes. Pistol round is going to be instrumental as well for both of those teams after changing the sides.
The bounce on
shocked that. I feel like it missed a bounce.
Yeah. I think he meant to right-click it first. A little bit of an oopsie. It's all good. It happens. There we go. Korea taking down Mixwell. What a start. Remember, they have some pistols even in this round. NIP are not looking healthy in the economy front. Surprised they don't even push up to try and retrieve that weapon, but you can see now that that would have been a risk not worth taking. There's 2 players pushing down Tube. But with that said, there's 2 players pushing down Tube, and they had a res. So, of course, Mixwell gets picked back up, and we go back into the 5v5. For NIP, though, they have ultimates to play with. They're just not the most impactful, really. Cypher and Omen, they're not going to change the course of the round 9 times out of 10. And so this is somewhere...
Basically, the Omen ult is just like a recon arrow, you know, exactly. for them. Unless they have no control of bjor, so he can't teleport to plant there. Maybe next round then. He still has it. They have an entire control of the site. But mixed with the big opener, we didn't see it, but it was a good, I think from Boiler, a good shot from Boiler, to the nest.
Oh, hold on. They're coming back out for this with the wall that's up. Artist, Mixwell, Patatech. Everybody's clocking up frags, and it's all down to Mixwell in the end. JD healing himself back up, but it's Herd. Mixwell knows he's not pushing him. He was going to stick it, but then he swings at the last second and finds the third. That is 6-4, and G2, they are on fire right now, picking up round after round. They had that last play with the classic to close it out. You know, in terms of buy rounds, though, G2 have looked so much better when they're on ecos or when they're on low buys.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that maybe they shouldn't just buy big weapons. You know? Just play with pistols.
Classics.
Try to, yeah, classics pretty good. Still, the right click is you know, it's a big tool in your disposal.
Nerfed, bro, come on, it's been nerfed.
I mean, it's been nerfed, but you cannot shoot it like 3 times straight because then it goes all to hell. Like it's such a big spread.
Yeah.
But I wanted to point out as well, G2 is actually favoring phantoms on icebox.
True. And, you know, it makes sense if you're someone like Zeke, playing around those close angles on A, if you're playing close B as well. But for the most part, this is a very long-range map. So that's where the Vandal does typically prevail, regardless of region on icebox. Oh, Rhyme. It's always risky, right? Down to player movement, you can see it's just perfectly dodged. Sure, getting the tag with the drone's going to help, but it's never 100%. Oh, Korea, we say that the ult doesn't really have much impact. Well, that right there, that was perfect.
That was actually super nice. He did teleport underneath the rafters, so he had so much time to open that kill.
I like the fact that he doesn't full commit to this. You know, the tags were hit up onto Artist, but JD just backs off afterwards, not wanting to full commit his life for what would have been a guaranteed kill, but possibly a trade for his enemy. And in a 4 versus 2, when he's got the res up, you don't want to leave anything to chance. Just play this for the win. And that's exactly what they do.
Take a look at the minimap. How well they control post-plant the entire side. This is so good.
Spotted him. He saw the barrel.
As soon as I say that, he actually turned around and Existence got killed by Piff.
So I like the position from Existence. I think he was just stepping out to check Heaven incrementally. You know, no way you win this Pith. Come on, it's a 1v2 now at this point. Maybe a little bit more doable. Goes in for the headshot, but can't connect it. He was low on HP, so I didn't expect it to work, but he still made a pretty good try at it. But yeah, the problem was Existence was stepping out, clearing Heaven, then going back into his corner. But the timing when Pith made it into Heaven, Existence had turned away, was looking back at his corner, but he hadn't fully stepped back in. He was only on his way. So the barrel was just barely visible. And so Pith realized that
the classic timing. The classic timing. You know, you can already see the spams in the chat.
Well, look, it doesn't matter whether it's luck or whether it's skill. The timing works out. The position is what wins this time. Mixwell, I like this, hiding behind the wall. Okay, not something we've seen from them before. He's going to play aggressive on it after he hears nothing apart from the Cypher cage.
But you know what's funny? When you look at the analytics and the heat maps of how G2 plays Icebox, they actually do push long B a lot.
Oh, 100%.
A lot.
It's usually Pith as well. It makes sense in this round with Mixwell having his ult, but Pith is usually the culprit. We've seen him against NIP in particular, pushing up almost every single round. And Artists, let's rethink some of these arrows.
What is happening today with Artists? This is like the third shock dart that goes like that.
Artists, he goes inside the smoke though in a shocking play. Even if the dart doesn't connect, that one does. Out he goes with the Vandal, looking around the left side, and he's almost caught a victim. And they're just taken away up behind the walls. The spike plant to come through in a 4v4 retake to be underway. G2 not in the best of spots. Rhyme is very isolated here though. He has a little bit of help from Omen, but Korea distracted by the player behind, left Rhyme open for a second. Luckily nobody peeks through and takes that fight as they delay time. Chihuahua comes in, nice shot to Mixwell. The ult deleted. There'll be no screenplays here today as a 2v3 remains. Trying to get back in with the man disadvantages is never easy, and Pith, well, he gets a chance to go at it one more time. He didn't win the 1v3 in the last round, and this one's not looking any more likely. 8-4 at the half. And you just think about it, Lothar. With the weapons that they had on G2 in these rounds that they won, there's at least 2 of these rounds where it was a very weak buy, where G2 should have lost. This could be an incredibly convincing half for NIP if it wasn't for a couple of hiccups. And I think they'll really be kicking themselves now if G2 come out and perform the same way they did last time. One other quick thing I wanted to mention was we mentioned how Pith pushes B a lot. Notice, and if anybody there has the time to do this or cares enough, go and watch back the first time they played in Red Bull Homegrounds on Icebox versus this one. Pith changed his playstyle completely, and I think that's because he knows, especially against Existence, that game, you got away with it then, but you won't get away with it a second time.
Sure, I'm looking at the plans that G2 is doing right now on Icebox. It will tell us the story for sure. G2 is planting typically on actually B, so it's interesting that they do attack A this time.
I mean, for NIP, you have to say the A site was definitely the weakness of their defense. Thinking back to Red Bull Homegrounds, they lost, I think 7 rounds in a row on this site, or 7 out of 8 at least. It was tough to watch. Obviously, you'll have more thought having gone into it, but you see here immediately G2, they bait out NIP. They find the opening kill on A. They know that these players are going to be insecure about that hold, and so they instantly rotate to B, where they'll try to overwhelm Chihuahua, hiding behind yellow, swings at the right time, catches one off guard, but runs right into heavy traffic. B side overtaken, wall up, and that will be a spike plant with a man advantage to hold off against the retake.
It's so hard to pull it off after you lose so many players on the defender side. So Chihuahua needed 2 kills basically to, you know, make it even for both sides. But now with the post plant, this is going to be so tough for Existence to try and get multiple kills here. He can clear some angles, but it's still like yellow is such a big objective.
Oh, they're going to double peek back yellow to try and take down Akukos, aka Existence, and he's still on low HP. JD healed himself up and catches the frag, but not the double. Wasn't ready for Artis. Good team play there from G2. A lot of those fights, if you watch it back, were 2v1s. As soon as they knew where the player was, they're peeking them together and just overwhelming. And it speaks to the confidence of these players. Now, one thing I want to say right away. Whoever's in chat, I'm not looking at the chat, but I'm sure there's someone there who's going to be saying, Zeke's such a noob. Why is this guy even playing Reyna? He sucks. He's got 3 kills. Well, he's playing the A site. If you look back at that, a lot of the hits were towards the B site. A lot of the presence was on mid, and Zeke was left in retake scenarios again and again. Combine that with the fact that other players were stepping it up massively. I hate when Reynas get low kills, but I'm not going to criticize him.
He had a very good first blood in one round when they actually attacked A, and that was the moment when they went back to B.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like he doesn't have a lot of possibilities to just show up.
I mean,
but here, this might be a different story, and he goes for a double kill.
Who's a noob? Sorry, Zeke? Did someone say? This guy's on fire in this round, at least. No, I mean,
but, it's an eco. You know, he's an eco cobra right now.
Eco fragger Zeke. No, but I don't want to draw too much attention to it. I know I already have, but, but it's one of those things that it always gets to me. You know, you see players that, due to how the rounds have been playing out, look, he's doubled his kills. Legend. But it's very easy to look at scoreboards and say, oh, this guy's terrible. He had a bad game. He needs to do this. And so, in a lot of these situations, he was playing from a negative footing. They knew where he was coming from. They weren't hitting his sight, so he wasn't able to use those angles that he likes to play off of, where he found success in the previous game. And I think a lot of credit is to go to NIP for just avoiding giving him the same amount of room and space as they did previously.
I think that's because of Chihuahua, actually. Like, the way Zeke would like to play it, he would probably like to, you know, when he sees that they're executing on B, he should probably just roam the map a little bit, get more map control for the post plan. But because of Chihuahua, he wasn't able to do that.
I thought Mixwell for a second didn't even need a gun when we swapped to him. He was just out there with the finger guns, looking to take.
Well, he still has a toy gun, which doesn't count.
That's true. Yeah, he's just going to tickle them up a little bit. Hey man, those kind of weapons, I won't say a name, Playzilla, shall we say, they could hurt. You know, I used to have one that you pumped up. It was an air-powered one. You pumped it and pumped it and pumped it. And if you pumped it enough, man, it would hurt when you fired it off. It could probably break glass. I never tried it because I was pretty sure it would. They've spotted 3 players. No, 2 at least. But they know Korea plays around here, and the paranoia is going to give that away. At this point, I'm expecting rotates back towards the A side, but they don't have anybody lurking. This was full commitment towards B, and that makes it very difficult to actually play this around. JD, there we go. Just about catches his teammate to get the heal line up. And yeah, well, I was going to say it's looking unwinnable. It definitely is now with Chihuahua closing it out.
We can talk about this round like a lot. You know, there was some utility being used in a strategic big way, but it all came down to just hitting heads with the Vandals that we have seen. This round was all in duels, you know? And I feel like G2 just... That was exactly like the one round that I have seen from NIP when they were just so reluctant to break into the side and just get control of it, or at least try. You know, they all died on not even going into the yellow area, you know? Interesting. It's just so different to see G2 approach this map than every other team. Let's see how it goes this time. You know the exact position of Korea.
The thing is, the setup there was Chihuahua trying to catch them off guard, but he just got spotted as well with the drone going through. So that's big on Loco and reset on the B side defense. NIP, I said previously, they struggled with A, but it looks like G2, or they've realized, you know what, they're going to spend a lot of time fixing their A. Let's hit the B. And they're working so far, at least. Korea, inside that smoke, he might get pushed on with some poor time, and it looked like Artist was about to go through it, but instead he's stepping away. Not having the Phantom, you don't really want to spray inside of this smoke, but Korea's just biding his time, pops out of Paranoia, clears the back right, but ultimately doesn't get them the space that he was hoping. If G2 went aggressive there and tried to finish off fights onto his teammates that were making some noise from behind, that could have been the biggest play of the game so far from Korea. But instead, they backed off. They played passive for their utility. Obviously, when you've got a Viper, especially with your snake bites, combining that in with your poison orb, your main concern is going to be having lineups for when they put a Killjoy ult down. They're not running Killjoy, so you actually have nothing to worry about in that sense, that you can play a much more passive. And look, there it is. All right, snake bite, you have your poison orb. It's a very, very solid post-plant setup. So
I'm really interested in why Korea didn't try to stop that plant. He was like basically, you know, he could have touched Ardis while he was planting the bomb. So I found that very interesting. Maybe there was a call already that they want to probably just play a full post-plant retake, and if that's not possible, then they will save, as they did, right? But it was an interesting round.
I think honestly, if he takes down Artist, he probably gets sprayed down through the smoke. And there it was like
the thing is, then they don't have the wall anymore, right? They cannot save plant anymore. You can spray all of those positions all the time, even when you're at the they have to rotate. Oh my god.
Well, that's an interesting play and a half. NIP, they've walled up and pushed Existence on top, completely caught G2 off guard, and that's exactly how you want to play some of these rounds. Aggressive. Rhyme, though, he's left by himself. Both of his aggressive players on B have died, but so too of the players who wanted to push up. And look at this. Does he continue pushing here? Korea is in the key position to win this round. He could catch them off as they push forward. Now, they're always going to look to the left, but he's at an angle that you won't typically be pre-aiming, right? Chihuahua as well spots out that poison orb, knows that they're going to use it to either push up under tube, through tube, or to rotate towards Korea. But he's tucking in. Korea knows that he's in the better position, but they are going to come towards middle. They're looking at it. At least the timing is poor for Chihuahua. Zeke had looked away, but Pith was still looking, but that's where Korea comes in to win the round. TP goes across. He's trying to get away. There's the Paranoia. It hits. It does damage. He knows exactly where this player is, and the chances of winning that round just fade away completely. And what was that didn't actually do physical damage? It just completely ruined the chances because you're blind. You have to spray. That gives away your position. The rotates are already underway. Your time is so low. They could be flanking. They could be mid. The round is... It comes into a deathmatch.
And he got bullied at the same time. You know, like, Korea, that was such a nice play to just put Artist in place in that round. Like, he had no options, basically, right? You either push blind and you try to catch the Omen off guard when he's close to you, because then you can see him. But at the same time, Korea was taking his, you know, his position better. He was drawing back. He knew that if Artist has a play, it has to be aggressive, so he played that around. I played around it, and it was so well played by Korea. Oh, but he missed the shot. You know what? From winning a round to maybe throwing a round?
Well, we'll see how it closes. I think for NIP, that what?
That was so cool! Right after the wall was popped down, so they still have a chance to plant. But that was such a cool shot. The combination of Viper Wall and this Sova drone or Recon Arrow, whichever it is, allows you to get 3 kills like that. So now the round is equal. 1 loss to 1 loss. They're rotating towards A. No control over A from NIP. They just over-rotated. And now they only have Sova on it. There's a Recon Arrow going in A. Will Will he get it? No info. There's no one on site right now.
Okay, Zeke on range. I love this with the Phantom. The power you can get, but the problem is that's a perfect rolling thunder. Existence hits it on command. JD taking 2 kills. Not quite able to finish it off, but it's a 2v1. Time is low, and mixwell has to push forward to try and get this plant in. A 1v2 with 70 HP. He knows where one player is, but the other's completely unknown. And with 10 seconds, he has to just win this one after another. There's Rhyme gone. 6 seconds almost as he goes for the plant a little bit more. And he's going to stick it fully. No push coming down, but can he get out of there? He has no dash. The swing, and he thinks Existence was down below. What a round from Existence there. The Rolling Thunder was what got JD those 2 kills. And then he closes it out in the 1v1. 11-7. And the tight game continues.
The Rolling Thunder was the MVP, but it was JD who came in and got the double kill, which is, you know, this is why Breach is a typical support player. He gives the flashes for someone else to shine, right? You get those kills when someone is defenseless. You get those kills when someone is just stunned. But it's so important, as I pointed out before, JD is on another ultimate. It's crazy how is he able to fuel his ultimate like almost every other round if he gets kills like those, you know? And they also play really well with the orbs. He gets a lot of those. So this brings a lot of additional firepower to NIP. And you know, why do they need duelists when they just have a duelist that is just rezzing people?
Yeah.
So cool.
It's essentially what the former G2 member David P was doing, right? The battle sage.
Kinda.
Yeah, it's what you want to see. Oh, hold on now. G2 going in for this. mixwell hit the headshot on that as well. Good damage done. Chihuahua comes in for a double though, saving the day. This man kills everyone through smokes, through cages. He's tagged one player up close. He's going up on top, but mixwell saw him. And with 30 HP, you're not going to risk that. He's going to wait for the heal and play it afterwards. They know that Sage is caught up close and there's a gap around the wall. They have no idea. Chihuahua didn't see Artis further away though. Popped his ultimate instead of taking the fight, but it might not matter. It's all down to mixwell, and the flank is perfect from Rhyme every single time. 12-7 we go with that defuse. This is getting scary for G2 at this point. It's map point now to try and take it all the way to bind with the, and guarantee split even if they lose bind, right? That's the important part, because yeah, bind looks great for G2, but I said if they can win Icebox, they have a real chance of taking this series, and we're 5 rounds in a row away from G2 even hitting an overtime.
You know, I said that I'm not worried about G2 when they'll be going to the attack, and especially since, you know, they also won the pistol round, right? They're giving them basically the next round as well. So I was not really worried about their performance, but it seems like they're just not pulling their weight in full buy rounds, which is also the story in the first half. I want to give them so much credit for picking this map, because again, I think most people that look at the Red Bull Homegrounds results will go, but they beat them 13-5 on Split. Why not play Split? The reality was they put a lot of time into Icebox. They know that this is a solid map for them. And when you, oh no, Korea, that's unfortunate. A bad way to start as Pith hits a nice headshot as well. Existence, and he had both teleports still available. He could have just teleported on yellow, right? He could have, yeah. Or even on site. It's a poor start for sure, but just to finish the point about NIP, they knew that the A site was a weakness on their defense. They won the round. They won the game in the first. Oh, what is JD doing there? He pushes up behind, and I'm going to share Pitt's frustration in that one, as he no doubt is very annoyed that someone's just made that kind of ballsy play straight through his ultimate. That now drop mid is open, but the problem is, even with the res, they have to retake the A side. The flash is perfect. That is gorgeous by Existence. He had no idea on the timing, but I don't know, it just worked out. Fair play. He just felt it, you know. That was so cool. Like, the flashes from Breach are just insanely powerful. 3 seconds, a fully flash. Like, Chihuahua got a free kill basically on Zeke. And now it's 4 versus 2, even though they had a 2-man disadvantage. That's straight out from Chihuahua. That was crazy. Artis with the double kill though. They're still alive. They're still alive. Oh, but hold on. The defuse is coming in. 8 bullets left to go for the spam. He runs out, has to reload, and it's going to be stuck all the way. Existence, fittingly, is the one to close between the maps. You're like 15 minutes or something. We're just ready to go. This is fantastic. I don't need to make very long points. And now that's your turn. Yeah, your job. Anyways. Dude, look at this. Only 2 frenzies. 2 frenzies. 1 for each team. But a lot of ghosts still happening. It's kind of interesting to see, like, the preferences of players. Map control being taken over. Look at that. Chihuahua doing what he was doing on Icebox as well. But this this is a huge execution on long B, but they lost so much map control.
Quick point as well, Patatek taking out the Brimstone, which is worth mentioning because we were saying previously how he hasn't been doing that all too well.
Okay, we're seeing those shotguns, right?
I was refreshing my feed, I'll be honest. I lost.
Okay, so I thought for a second that we were playing again on Icebox and Artis is doing the same shotguns. But here, mixwell with the big opening frag. Artis comes in as well.
Nice stuff to start it. I know they're going to get the control of the side. Easy plant. But the flank from Chihuahua, it's being watched for. They're ready for the timing. It could work out perfectly, but he doesn't suspect someone to be here. So Pith gets the first shot off, but he doesn't hit the heady. Chihuahua survives on 10 HP. And with that, a chance. A small hope for them. They'll clear out hookah and know that control is not theirs. Off of that, you suspect there's someone on the site. Chihuahua spamming through, and Korea was the one to find the kill, but a 1v2 to win. 74 HP. No smoke left for another 10 seconds. He tries to bait them out. There's the molly gone. We talked about that before. Elbow is the final player, but he's not peeking. Artis being so low on HP doesn't want to give any opportunity for this to go away. A smoke comes in, but here's the recon rather going up. He heard the smoke surely, so he knows, but thanks to Korea being so low,
that was interesting.
It works out.
That was really interesting because I thought that because of the sound cue from the smoke, he's not going to use it, or at least just going to put it inside of the smoke. So could have been actually way closer than it looked. If Korea had higher HP, so wouldn't die to one bullet, Artis could have actually lose this round. So they both played patiently, and I feel like Korea went for the winning play because of the smoke and just sticking to it. But unfortunately for NIP, they didn't have enough HP on Omen to play it off. Still, a very well played round by Chihuahua. Winning that dual pistol on long was instrumental to even have a chance of retaking. But it was still a tough task to do because it was a 3 versus 5. Mixwell with that first blood was huge for G2.
Massive work, and again, as we have a little bit of time talking about the Brimstone and how impactful that can be with the Omen, one of the things we said was post-plant utility. You know, that Molotov is so valuable. You can stop pushes on the defensive side. I don't know what's happened with his bookie. JD's drawn some sort of weird shape out of the mist. Interesting. And definitely not the range you want to use a bookie on, which is why he's going to the Classic. But we saw there...
What are we talking about? Bucky kills on every range.
It's true, right? Right click from all the way down, be long, why not?
You just have to look at someone and be like, bang! You know, you don't have to press even the button, just do the sound.
You just say it. Ah, and that's it. Oh, Rhyme didn't make the sound with his mouth. That's the problem. And instead, they're just getting absolutely overrun. It could have been a bookie ace if he had just shouted bang. That's Coach Lothar helping you out in the background. If you're losing your matchmaking games, ask Lothar for some tips. He's got you. What do you do with a sheriff? Do you have to make a different noise for that?
You go kapow.
I'll just go through all the guns. Like, what about Owen? Have you beatboxing in a second?
Odin goes brr. It has to be like lower, like this, like this.
It's gorgeous. I don't know if we'll hear any Odins on this map, though. That's the sad thing. It definitely makes me sad. When we move to Split and when we move to Ascent later on in the day, well, perhaps later on in the day, no spoilers for the vetoes. Maybe we will, but Korea, unfortunately, the bookie, as much as Lothar wants to believe it can kill at every range, with 10 HP on that range is not going to work out for you, unfortunately. So we go 2-0, and G2, they clock up another one, which was expected, but now they come up against the big rifles, the big bras, as Lothar would say.
As you mentioned, Odin, I'm actually kind of surprised that not a lot of pro teams are using it, you know, because it's a very situational gun, but an example on Icebox on B, it can stop the plant for such a long time, and it's the designated weapon to take if you're expecting a Sage to make a wall on your side, right? Because then it just destroys it in half a second with so many bullets and so much penetration and such a high damage. But in the meantime, quick execute on A. Seems like it mixed with the big opening.
It's a good start for them, but they're going to delay a little bit longer, right? They're clearing out Bath, but that smoke down, it stops them from peeking too much further. You don't know what awaits you around that corner. Existence, well, he awaited Mixwell, but unfortunately got taken down right afterwards. A brave attempt at the push, but one that doesn't net a whole lot for them. A man disadvantage still to play with, and for NIP, losing the site, losing players, it's looking unlikely that they'll do anything but lose this round. The flank cut short by a well-placed tripwire. So unfortunately, you're not going to see their Rays push all the way on through. And with that, JD is left isolated by himself on the A site. It's going to be tough. But JD is a player that can definitely pull out these big plays when it's needed the most. He dodges the recon by moving around the box. Actually gets spotted in the end and wallbang, so never mind. I thought he was going to keep going. But it didn't work out for him, and now 1v3 that his teammate has absolutely no interest in going for, because he sat over in hookah still.
He was basically stuck. Like, I'm sure what he would love to do is just to go back to heaven and just take control of the site from there. Maybe get an entry kill when someone is just crossing from A short or from showers, but he was stuck on site, and that arrow put him in an even worse spot than he was in to begin with. So there was a lost round basically when he got stuck, and Rhyme couldn't help him even, because then they would lose control of B, so they don't know if they rotated. So yeah, unfortunate for NIP, because this was the round that they should have won. Otherwise they're gonna have a very low economy, and I feel like G2 doesn't really even have to go for him, because if they lose any of their guns, they're actually worth more than for NIP. They're gonna be having 4 low buys and just 1 big gun, 1 rifle for them. While G2 builds up the economy, they will be able to buy even an op at some point, maybe in the next round, if they would like to, of course, do that. Because right now, there's definitely not a spot to buy an op when you're playing against a low buy. So this is the perfect scenario for G2, but they need to capitalize on it. This is the round when they cannot be reckless. This is the round when they have to take control over the map, like, meticulously. They have to never go alone. They have to go as a team. They have to trade. They can never lose any weapons.
Oh, this is a toilets or a bath crunch, right? They've got players out on long. Oh, I thought they were going to take the TP and go all the way through, but they decide against it. This is somewhere that you'll typically see someone like a Sova throw down a recon dart and then push off the back of it. Everybody crunches in, but they baited me with that play, that early setup. Shock darts, nades, everything going out, and a very low HP Chihuahua, I think it is, towards the back of the site. And the Cypher stuck. He's actually pushing forward, though. He gets inside the smoke. He's making a risky play, and it doesn't quite pay off.
This is the round when the risky plays might pay off and are worth doing, right? This is where you don't risk much, but because you have the lower equipment, you lose a sheriff if it happens, but if you get a kill, it's so much worth.
Rhyme almost had God tier timing on that. So the way that worked, there was obviously 2 players left on A. You had the Sova towards the back of the site who fires a recon dart through. That makes them think, okay, we've got 1 back site. That should be the whole team, right? Rhyme then tries to push in through lamps, but just about gets spotted as Artis was fading back towards mid. Had he have been literally half a second later on that play, I think he gets behind them and he catches them off guard completely, but they were aware, they were ready. And with that, not a single kill. Well, that didn't last too long. Korea catches 1. He catches 2. Okay, Korea. Maybe I should curse this man more often. Picks up a weapon. He's running forward. Smoke going down, but he's not going to go for it. He's going to take the TP. Okay. I don't know what that was, but he goes in the TP eventually. You see, the smoke, I think, wasn't the idea, trying to keep a player, if they're around bath or spawn, close enough that they would get killed by the spike and just cost them an extra weapon. And you could see he wanted to go forward and tap it just to make that sound cue and make them push. But it was way too late. Even if they heard the sound cue, they'd be like, well, he definitely doesn't have time, surely. But you can appreciate the attempt. He got stuck a little bit in the strategy, but made it out with a rifle at least.
Maybe someone would have been baited, right? Because of it, like a split-second decision to go back.
You don't have time to think about it in the moment.
Yep. So now, full buys from both teams. Rhyme, though, on a small shield, 0-3. Ultimate's ready from Brimstone, so don't stand in lamps if you don't want to get killed by that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But Korea with the double kill, but he's gonna get tagged now. Oh, double tag.
So double tag, but the thing is, the shock dart doesn't come through to take him down. There was one on its way, but not quite in time. Korea up close, 31 HP as he tries to back off. He really can't die in this scenario because both himself and JD are super, super low, and that ult could almost take them down. That is a great bait out, though. You know, you're making them
exactly
commit.
What I wanted to say. That was such a good play, but it's Sova in lamps. You just peeked for a brief second, shot two times, I think, and then just went back quietly. So he baited out the ultimate. Super crucial as well to get that out.
And in a round like this, when they're desperate, that's where they would deploy those ultimates, as you saw. A really nicely thought through Patatek in the back of the site. They're giving away that they suspect that he's here. A couple of spams going through, and JD's just holding it. Easy peasy as NIP get their first round on the board. It was a little bit slow to start, but that was a nice shutdown. The problem is, G2 have got plenty of cash. And I gotta be honest, Lothar, in this map, I don't think we had enough time to really say it before coming in, but we did say it in the pre-show. For those of you that weren't here, this is where G2 should just dominate. They should be able to take this map relatively cleanly, and I don't think that's even a negative thing for NIP. Just based on how we know G2 play bind and how NIP do, it's about as clean as you could expect.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very tough match for NIP, especially that on that, like, G2 actually started on attack. When I feel like the map is a little bit defensive based, right? Biased, sorry. G2 would prefer to win a half of the map while being on the attack, because that puts NIP in such a bad mental state.
I mean, the thing in general for G2 is it's their attack side where they pick up most of their rounds versus the higher tier teams, and we've seen it a million times over. Just the amount of pressure they can put on a team. I mean, they do it on the defense as well, let's be honest, but
Look at that. Look at this round. This is completely free B. They are playing retake on B. No informations, right? That's just... Oh, wow. That is such a weird round.
Yeah, you know, JD going in for that peak, it's definitely not the best of plays. Should we say Zeke? I love that with the blast packs.
Save from Zeke.
They might not know that he's here now. Obviously, they heard the blast packs, but do you make that connection? Do you realize what's just happened? I don't know. I've never seen that before. You have to, or you'll lose the round, but it looks like they'll lose it anyways because they bail on out. Look at the HP. That nade very nearly killed both of those players, and yet they get away with their lives.
That's such a weird run. I would love to see a replay of the entire movement of the minimap, like from the beginning of the end, because both Sova and Cypher on B side just went super passively into elbow. They were just holding it, but we didn't get any information from the traps. We didn't get any information from the camera as well, because it was put in hookah. So they had no idea what's happening on the site. It's such a weird round, because B is also very hard to retake if you don't get any entry kills on site while defending it. So I'm still questioning this the way that they played it, you know, especially with the camera placement.
It was I mean, the takeaway from that round for me was just the blast back play. That was gorgeous.
Still very cool play, like a, you know, micromanagement from Zeke here was quick on his feet with the thinking as well. That's something that was posted on Reddit, by the way. So I'm surprised that you didn't see it, because I know you read Reddit a lot, just like I do.
Be floating around the Reddit. I think a lot of these things, especially for Raze, look, you show me some Viper plays, I'm gonna see them. You know that. I think that's my most searched thing. It's Viper Reddit. There should be one. There should be a Viper only Reddit. But no,
there is Viper mains.
There is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go find this. Let's go have a look.
They might be just like 2 users and someone else, and then you'll be the third.
Well, we'll make a community eventually. Look at Pith in there. He's been playing her a bit. I think he's allowed at this point. We're like 5-1. It's looking like the dominant game that we thought we would see. And when you move into round number 7, really this is a game of morale at this point. You've stacked up.
I want to put out to one thing. Kriya just used the ult on showers to get info, which allowed the entire team of NIP to get a B stack.
Perfect. And now they're all here. They're all ready to go. Rolling Thunder goes in. Shot connected by JD. He needs a little more, though. Luckily, the showstopper didn't actually connect any kills. His existence finds one drone goes out, but they see them go into the TP. They're running away, but Raze is still here, waiting. This could be dangerous if he drops out on time. And Zeke slow walked through, but still catches existence. Great Hunter's Fury. It's harassing them. It's slowing them. Patatek's being spotted in good night and sweet dreams. Surely they're going to just swing. There's one. They know where Patatek is, so he's not long for this world. And a 1 versus 3 now. Chihuahua pops the cage and starts to defuse. The flank from up behind. They didn't hear the TP, obviously. Zeke is able to grab himself a kill. The nade pushes him off the defuse. They've gotten it halfway, though. Time is of the essence, but Zeke is in with a third. This is dangerous. 4 bullets remaining. All he needs is a headshot, but JD, he gets it done. What a close round. G2 almost pull it back, but in the end, NIP clutch it out.
Such a cool round, because there were a few key pieces that happened. First was the Kriya ult for the showers to get the info, so NIP can stack on B. Then stack on B happens. The teleports to A from G2 will, you know, put the rotation towards A. But the thing is, Zeke was such a valuable piece of strategy for G2 if he gets a kill on B after the lurk. The thing is, I was worried about his barrel, because he played Phantom, his barrel was actually visible through that smoke, and I'm surprised he actually won that fight. Here we have, and again, an aggressive play from NIP on showers, and they are able to get a lot of information. So because of that, look at the garden right now. They get a lot of information. They had 3 people doing shots, getting the Sova drone as well. So there's a lot of information going for NIP. They know what's happening, but they're still not rotating. Actually, Existence is currently rotating to A.
They think this is like a massive fake, but they're finding out the hard way that it's not. Smoke's about to go down on the B site with Rhyme falling. The stim pack going off straight away, and we've already seen the impact that can have in the recent meta shift towards Brimstone. Now that there's no charge up time, right? You just throw it down straight away. Existence looking for the spot to use that up, but he's not going to get anything done with it. Patatek still tucked away safely. Pops down his final smoke, gives his teammate a bit of stim, but that costs him his life. The spray through by Existence, easily done. Kriya caught with his weapon away, rather caught with a smoke out. When we go into a 4 versus 3, a tough one really, with Kriya falling. This makes you second guess whether you go for it still. Not just because you've lost an extra player, but also the control of that side of elbow. Nice shot by Patatek. Mixwell with a third, and that is it, closed. Existence, he's pushed all the way up elbow. You know, his teammates had already just ran out on the site, and he's not in a position to really swing with them. Again, this was the spot they wanted to have. Oh, he's dead. He doesn't even get to TP.
He's not gonna get it. Even if he would, then he's got by artist, and that actually happened. Honestly, I'm a little bit confused by this round, because they got perfect intel. They had Chihuahua pushed showers. They got an info. No one's in front of showers. They had no one making anything on A short. Then they had 3 people on B long. They got that info. There was smokes, of course, and who was that? Rhyme was on garden, right? He got that intel, and then we have seen Existence coming back to A. Maybe they anticipated like quick teleports back to A. Maybe that was it. I'm actually kind of confused. What was the communications here?
Yeah, that's one that you definitely want to hear the comms for. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe they'll release a video on it and explain what the hell they were thinking. Definitely when we can ask some questions anyways in the post-game interview if we get there. But for now, we're looking at a 6-2 scoreline. We're looking at what appears to be a B push with, again, your Cypher lurking towards the A side. He's got his utility down to cover for flanks, and they might actually finish towards A on this one. The damage is huge. Mixwell survives, dashes, and yeah, you can see that they were going to finish A because of the Cypher utility placement. That is put down to stop flanks from coming through from the A side. Now they move in towards the A side itself, or from the B side, excuse me. That's put down the A side hit, but Mixwell, because he's low, he's lurking behind in a position that you'll just never expect. Great damage done. He's taken a kill. Patatek has as well. The spray through the cage not quite going to work out, unfortunately. And with that 2-man advantage, this should be done and dusted. Patatek swings, turns on a dime, and almost gets another. Even tanks the beautiful little fault line. He knows that his opponent only has a pistol, and all he sees is free stats.
Yeah, I mean, this round was well played by G2. Fortunately for them, Rhyme didn't kill Mixwell, because I felt like that was maybe something that would have changed the outcome of the round, if because I assume they would still teleport to A, but they wouldn't have the weapon, additional gun, while NIP would have actually taken the gun from Mixwell's body. But they played it really well. I love the way that they teleported and didn't take showers control, because they knew that there might be someone in showers playing low by with a Bucky, with a Judge, even with shorties could have cost them the round. So yeah, smart play by G2. This is actually something that we missed from them on Icebox.
It's a shame that Rhyme didn't get the kill with the ult or any kills. I don't mean to be mean.
I didn't want to put attention to that, but he really needs to catch a break, because right now he's on 0-8. He didn't get a kill from the ultimate, which I kind of make a joke about, that, you know, it's like a free kill. Every time you get an ultimate from Raze, it should be a free kill.
Yeah, he did fire through a smoke because they heard the step, so in that sense, he definitely rolled the dice, and I think it was a worthwhile risk. You saw if they had have been grouped up differently, if they had have been positioned differently, he could have gotten easily 2 to 3 kills out of that. So It's one of those things. Just didn't go his way this time. This is a tactical pause, by the way. For those of you that don't know, NIP have taken a moment to sit back and have a little think and a little chat. And one of the things that's surprising, and I know I'm joking, obviously, in making fun of Rhyme so much, but the thing is, we mentioned that now that he doesn't have the IGLing responsibilities on his shoulders, now that you have existence coming in, and in case you weren't here earlier, Akukos is existence. I have no idea why. We said that the thing that we loved watching was the fact that now he was able to deliver these insane performances because he's free of those shackles. And he's able to go around and go back to a duelist role because they've got Chihuahua in. So basically the two responsibilities he was playing as a Sentinel and he was playing as an IGL. Now you've got Existence and Chihuahua in to relieve him of those roles. He's back on his freedom, his entry fragging, his duelist. And it's not working right now in this game, but we have seen in Red Bull Homegrounds how strong he can be, and that's why it's a worthy of note. Existence, is he dead to that? Yes, he is. He ran all the way back through. But two players caught up in the close left corner. Shock Dart goes through. Rhyme needs to peek. Oh, he TPs. That's big brain because JD's in the corner. Oh my god. Shredding them. Zeke finds Rhyme through the TP with the nade afterwards, but it might not be enough because Patatek is in a 1 versus 2. That was so well played on long, but it's still a relatively tight round.
Yeah. That was such a cool play. I would have to rewatch the entire round, but I feel like they didn't get the intel because of this slow attack on long B, right? That two players went to the left side. So teleporting one and baiting for JD was round winning, basically, for NIP. Such a cool piece of, you know, of small tactical choices by NIP. But it still comes down to the fact that JD needs to kill 2. If he kills only 1, the round is at a disadvantage. If he gets 2 like he did, then he basically puts NIP in an advantageous position.
That was incredible. And you know, one of the things, I said he needs to peek, and the logic behind that was if he peeks and dies, then they don't check JD. But he did one better. He ran through the TP, so they peeked to throw the nade through the TP. So it wasn't even there to kill the player afterwards, or to kill them both had Rhyme just peeked and died. That was unbelievable. It was fantastic work, and those kind of plays, man, I don't know, my heart can take it for much longer. That's what we're here for.
Well, Rhyme is pushing out Zeke from entering hookah, while they actually got entire long control and garden control, and mixwell is pushing while having an operator, gets the kill with the right click from his Blaze of Stoneblade. That was a nice play, but very actually interesting to see that mixwell played so aggressively the moment he chose to buy an op.
I mean, we know mixwell, we know aggression, we know jet operators. This is this is how he makes his bread and butter, really. But it's completely caught NIP off guard. And you're looking at 8 rounds attack side, and you said, Lothar, you want to see them pick up a lot of the rounds when they're on the attacking side. They've definitely obliged you on that one.
I feel like G2 is just having a very simple game, but it works. And NIP is overthinking everything that G2 does. It's like all of the rotations that we see from NIP are like too early a little bit because they think that it's gonna be a fake. So it seems like they're paying the price for overthinking. Nice double kill though on the X.
Oh my god.
Oh, triple kill, okay. Well, you know, Kriya just finds the best moments to do stuff like that when I'm trying to like make a summary of the round.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and the entire game.
You're right to do that in that kind of moment. You don't see him just taking those kills all too often. But Kriya's been having an unreal nap as well. 14-7 right now. The problem is the entirety of NIP is struggling. Even him, you know, he's having some of these rounds where he's having huge impact, but for the most part, this has just been a quiet series round to round for everybody. Quiet map, excuse me, not a series. Icebox was pretty sick. we expected, yeah, but really do.
Exactly what I wanted to say. We expected this happening.
Oh, Chihuahua! That was almost huge. If mixwell had ran through that smoke and not stopped, Chihuahua would have gotten at least 2 kills there and just lining them up as he ran through. but the steps were heard. Mixwell knew what was going on. Now he's completely blinded, nearsighted, hit by the rolling thunder. Absolutely everything going against him, and yet Mixwell survives. I think he still had his dash to make it into a corner. Rhyme shutting down Artist, but he's dealt with immediately afterwards. This puts the attackers in a good position. They know rotates will have come through to the B site, and as they've already crept up onto A, that spike plant comes in. But JD has evaded their detection. He's tucked in on the corner. The problem is they're playing a very passive game. This is around bathroom control, and there's one simple reason for it, Lothar, and it's Patatech.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, JD right now, first of all, he's playing a Spectre, not a Phantom, so he couldn't even spray those boxes to get a better position, but he's getting caught by Mixwell, and he was still waiting for his teammates to rotate so he can play retake with them. And that was the reason why he was just waiting so long in there to get killed by Mixwell. Unfortunate for him. Now Kriya, 2 versus 2 retake.
No.
He knows there's no one on A short right now.
There was no way that worked out. There was literally no way. As soon as you saw that ult is still online, they've just got the time to play with Patatech. He didn't peek into them, but luckily, time is gone, done, and dusted. And 9-3, we will go. The clutch, as it was put, even though it was a 3v2. Technically, in the end, it was a 1v2 that he won out, just based off the timing and the ult usage. Puts 9 on the board, and going into this pistol round, I think it's fair to say this is going to be a very important one to win for NIP.
Yeah, well, this is the moment where G2 has the mental advantage. Like, really, they crushed NIP. 3-9, but it looked like it could have been actually 12-0, to be honest. Rhyme needs to wake up. He needs to put numbers. He's playing on a character that thrives on kills, right? It's not even like a Reyna. He needs to fuel his ultimate, because his ultimate is game-changing. Reyna's ultimate is like, whatever. If I kill, I kill. So, but with Rhyme, showstopper, it's literally a showstopper. And he doesn't do it right now.
I like that fault line a lot. The problem is they're not quite there in time to catch him off, right? But they do push him out of the bath control, and that alone is almost worthwhile. When you're G2, though...
Chihuahua holding that angle. Look where Zeke is.
Oh, wow, okay. I didn't even see he was pushed down that much. They're almost the same on the minimap, overlapping. The nade goes through the steps back, but...
And he heard the steps, so he knows exactly what Zeke is doing. I was surprised he's not gonna peek the moment Zeke made steps. It's still a very slow game. NIP is trying to get map control. Chihuahua currently taking Garden for his own control. He saw Zeke. Now he has to fall back. He didn't get much now. That's unfortunate. I feel like NIP is still like a little bit uncertain where to go right now, because they couldn't get B control because of this because of the peak from Zeke on B.
It becomes tough.
There's a fake out smoke on B, but it's on CT, and Zeke has the info on hookah that no one is here. Titek is taking the control of long. He doesn't see anyone, so it feels like they will exactly know what's happening. An instant rotation from Titek, and Zeke is taking control of hookah. Good job by Existence here. Another first blood, and nice!
80, that's unbelievable. What a shock dart on a Mixwell. Closing in the distance, winning the round pretty much single-handedly at that point, with the second kill he follows up on, putting it into a 5v1. Zeke's got it all to do, and it's just not looking doable. In a pistol round like this, sure, he's still got armor, but with a classic in hand and a pyramid of players he peeks into, it's done and dusted. NIP, they get the round that they so desperately needed. Now, the problem is, again, like, I can see G2 force buying this. You know that this is a team that thrives off of just sheer aggression. Immediately I see Pith with a Sheriff in hand, but Stingers have shown huge success in EU recently, and a huge buy rate as well in the second rounds. Certainly looking at Rebel home grounds, and even in some of the scrims we've been playing as well, it seems like a lot of teams are adopting the second round force buys, and if you feel confident, it's where I'd expect it even more. You see in the bottom left there, Artist has just called a tech pause. A little bit of an issue with ping, so hopefully that won't take too long.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point out that even though NIP looked a little bit lost on the execution of the pistol round, like when they tried to get map control and they couldn't get that, they had a very good execution when they actually finally made the call to go on A site. It was a very good combination of flashes from Existence, and then when they flashed out someone from their position, JD just went in with the shock darts. That was a really good synergy between Existence and JD. He got that info, he got the shock dart in place, got a free kill because of that. So well played. Like, the moment they knew when they're gonna go, where they're gonna go. They executed the plan perfectly.
I mean, this is something from G2 that we would expect in terms of the pointed decision making, but the fact that we're seeing NIP pick that up, it's something that, again, once you see existence come into play, you expect everything to just be cleaner down to those executes. It's worth mentioning yet again, if you weren't here for the pre-show, this is a map that G2 should win. They, on paper, it's absolutely theirs, and we said it when we saw the veto come through. You have Icebox, a map that NIP could win, and they did it spectacularly as well, 13-7. Then you come on to Bind. This is G2's home ground. I don't think NIP have looked all too great on it recently. On paper, they don't win it, put it that way. We go to Split. And Split, last time they played 13-5 in favor of NIP. They bounced back from a loss on Icebox onto G2's map pick and wrecked them in Red Bull home grounds. That saw G2 playing very poorly individually, to put it nicely even. So with that, I expect a close final map. I would say if we get there, but it's almost when we get there. NIP have got such a big mountain to climb to get back into things, right? They've got to pick up round after round. That's the pistol under their belt, but now they've got to do it when it comes down to the weaker buy from G2.
I really like this G2 play.
This is
very aggressive.
We expected to see this from NIP earlier on, right? We thought maybe we were seeing a bathroom crunch where you go through the teleporter on B long and you push down bath. This is the kind of round where it can really swing things into your favor. A pistol out for Chihuahua. He's just shredding them. But in the end, the weapon will be retrieved. It's only a Spectre, though.
Yeah. You know what feels bad? Whenever you play after pistols around against ecos, and your Cypher or Omen gets the kills. It's like, yeah, that's not really impactful. You want to have those ultimate orbs, ultimate charges on someone who has actually bigger impact with his ultimate. So an example here, Existence, Rhyme, JD would have been the choice. They would obviously have that choice.
Yeah, if someone offered
still,
do you want 3 points on your your Cypher or your Raze? Well, obviously, revealing enemy positions is good, but shooting them with a rocket launcher, probably preferable. You gotta notice.
By the way, how do you feel?
Sorry.
Sorry.
I love online,
man. The online casting, man.
You go ahead, Lothar. This is yours. Here you go.
I forgot what I wanted.
Oh, God. Well, this has been a disaster. I was just going to mention that Pith has 1 kill. So as much as we might harp on Ryan for having a slow start, Pith is a little bit slower. He's not necessarily there right now. Last couple of rounds not being kind to him. Zeke.
If we would have got that double kill, man.
This is good. Hold on. NIP are pulling this right back in their favor. It was looking bad with the trades that went back and forth, but then Chihuahua. This guy is an absolute beast.
He's monster today. He's absolute monster today. And will he get another one? He missed those one taps on mixwell, unfortunate, but he got
Oh no! He how many people has he shot through cages, through smokes, and now karma comes to play against him. Mixwell trying to make it over towards the spike. He was kept.
He knows he's here. Like, he gave away his position. He saw the barrel.
What the hell is going on? He was covering for the walkout that his teammate was covering as well, and Mixwell grabs the double. That is a 10-round. Well, 5-round lead at 10 rounds on the board for G2. Don't know where I was going with that one, but I do know where G2 are going on to Split by the looks of things. After winning that, you leave NIP with not the prettiest of situations. They need 5 consecutive rounds to pull this back in. If they lose 1 buy round, they're probably looking at an overtime. That is a tough pill to swallow.
You know what's it was actually all good till the moment that random spray happened on Chihuahua. When he got killed through that cage, everything fell apart, and I felt like that moment Existence unfortunately chose to use the aftershock, and that gave away his position because you know exactly where he is. And then they're both holding the same angle with forgetting map control on the actual site. So Mixwell just had a free highway to get kills.
Well, some people say life is a highway. You know what, G2, they want to ride it all night long because they're bringing this to the 3rd map if they win this one here. 3 more rounds to go to make that happen, and for NIP, it did feel like an inevitability when we went on to Bind. Again, I'm going to be scared when they go to split. I think that's where they do damage. Chihuahua, the timing is terrible. Mixwell catches him in the side. This one, again, it came close. NIP had a foothold on the round, and it gets snatched out. Their legs swept from under them. Mixwell in with a third, and almost the final with how low Rhyme is. And Rhyme's pushing towards him. This could be it. The 4K for Mixwell, the big stat boost. He's already got his ult online, though, and this genuinely could be the decision-making. He runs away. And no, he's still going for the kill. Never mind. Doesn't want to share with any of his teammates.
He was doomed. He was doomed. Like the moment that recon arrow also landed, and with the amount of HP he had, very tough to pull off. But yeah, two players definitely not have a good game today on Bind, and that's Rhyme and Piff. Although Piff is on the winning side, so he doesn't really bother. But yeah, this is a little bit sad for NIP because those 2 rounds actually looked very doable and were a little bit unlucky in some bad decision making, post-plant especially, in the previous round. So we'll see. But Ryan this time with the showstopper, will he put that to use? He doesn't know who is that in hookah, so he cannot commit to the showstopper in case that's Mixwell, so who can just dash out of the range.
I really want to...
I feel like this is...
Sorry.
Please.
Let's just sit here in silence for the round.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's just trying to find how do they get the opening, right? They need to go for the showstopper with breach flashes, but it seems like G2 is anticipating that, and that's the reason why Mixwell is playing CT, so he can dash away easily. But now he goes on the backside because of this cage that was opened on hookah, and because of the rotation, Mixwell gets the kill on Rhyme before he's able to jump on side with the showstopper. Oh no, that's a big loss for NIP. That's a huge loss.
For Artis, nice shot connected. Mixwell is going to look for a little bit more on long. At least the trade is back there, but the problem is Existence is fragging like an absolute beast. He's shutting them down from hookah.
He has to, man. He's the duelist right now in this composition.
He's got the Rolling Thunder, and they've got the Hunter's Fury. If they can get this spike down, they should be able to at least close this round out. Rolling Thunder, though, thrown out preemptively to get them the control over the site. Patatek still hits the shot onto Chihuahua. They close in, they make it to site. Patatek swings, and oh my god, he doesn't miss. 3 kills. And 12-5, well, that is just the final nail in the coffin, it feels like, at this point. NIP are struggling again. So what I was going to say earlier is I really want to see the veto in full, because we saw what maps were picked. We didn't see what maps were banned, or at least I missed it if we did. So I would really like to know, because for NIP, I cannot think of a map worse than Bind to play G2 on, for them in particular. I would have thought they would ban this outright. So the fact that they didn't, maybe they put some time in. It hasn't worked, but maybe they have, and wanted to try it out here. But I don't think you make a risk in a game like this. It's so important to make it through to the next stage of Challengers and potentially into Masters. This is where you'd expect them to play 100%. And maybe that just says they haven't got the confidence level on another map to play it. Maybe they've seen something from G2. But either way, I was scared when I saw Bind, and I feel like I was right to be. Or we all were.
Maybe NIP was feeling just prepared for the map, you know, even against G2. But it's kind of hard to say when we don't have an interview with that specific question, right? Maybe post-game, we'll see. But in the meantime, JD gets a kill on Zeke, but then it gets traded by Artis with the double kill from his ult. Huge opening on side. Chihuahua with that cheeky shower play that he actually made so many times, but this is the first time it worked.
We know Chihuahua loves some cheeky plays in the shower, but let's see what else he can do. If he can make a clean play out of this one, scrub the soap on it, and pull it all the way off. So you have to realize, in that round there, in the start of this round, we had the orbital strike combined with the Hunter's Fury to just completely stop those players from going anywhere, and then kill them with the Hunter's Fury. Now we look to a little... Oh no, the player on site's being tagged. This is terrible. They know exactly where both players are. At least I think so. Patatek seemed to have an idea on Korea. Okay. I thought he heard the shadow step, but maybe not. As Korea falls, Chihuahua's in a 1v2. 20 seconds on the clock, and he's got to get back and take the spike because Korea had it in his hands, and now it's on the floor. Artis is just watching.
This is not looking good. He has 15 seconds. He needs to run. After the kill, never mind. I was really hoping he's going to get that kill because he would still be maybe to get it, but it is what it is. 13-5, and G2 takes it, and it's an equalizer. So we have a match on our hand, again, which is pretty cool, right? Because
a spot in the Challengers Finals, one of the top 4 teams. I'll be happy as Larry. I don't know who Larry is, but he's a very happy chap.
But look at the buy. The NIP is playing with 5 ghosts. No frenzies at all. And seem to be adamant on that.
I like this though, considering how where they're playing. They're playing towards the A site, so they want to take that long range duel, right? And if you come up against a classic playing in screens or out on the site peeking you, you're gonna win that duel most of the time.
This is something I wanted to put attention to. NIP is always, really always, every single time they attack on split, it's a fake A, a huge amount of movement in the beginning of the round, and then they go back to B. And if you would look at a heat map of plants in pistol rounds for NIP, they always, sorry, not always, but 75% of the rounds on pistol are being planted, the spike is being planted on B, which is huge, right? But then look at this, how G2 is playing. They're getting a lot of control on A lobby. They know there's a smoke, someone can be still behind it, but they are getting a lot of control of it.
Oh, Korea, he pushes through that smoke, takes down Artist, looks to heaven, but he can't get it done. He's sent to heaven himself. A 4v4 emerges, moving to the A site, but the spike is left behind. Again, Korea falling leaves that in a pretty precarious position. They cover heaven and get that spike down. The wall inside of the defender spawn is completely stopping them from pushing through and having anything to say about this. You don't want to peek the window when your teammate can't even see out of spawn. You know that they're holding it, and with the ghosts in hand, we now see the benefit of this buy on those long range duels with the Sage up to heal any players that take damage back to 100, which is full health, right? Because they didn't have armor to start with, buying up ghosts. But Chihuahua, what a peek! That's so good with the aftershock. Looking for a little bit more, but Pith ultimately takes him down. The heal is stopped though because he takes damage. But Zeke is absolutely huge. It's all on JD, but the Battle of the Sages goes to G2. What was that?
It's beautiful play. It all fell apart the moment Chihuahua died. He was holding that angle for such a long time. He got the kill on Mixwell, but then he was traded, and I feel like that was a crucial map control post plan that they needed to not fall apart. And the other problem was also JD was sitting on 14 HP behind screens. Even if he wouldn't have been just in the open, a small bullet from the ghost going through the screen on the side would have killed him. Like, that would have been enough damage. So he had a really bad position on this side.
I'm mind blown by that from Zeke though. The fact that he just runs in, takes all the duels and wins them. We talk about him on the Reyna and we said, he wasn't really able to deliver on Icebox as much as there were situational things around it. We still wanted that little bit more. Whoops, Mixwell, he's got the info. He spotted 3 players. But they've got the ult orb. They actually just full committed to it, and it's worked out.
Yeah. I really like the way that they play because it's gonna be crucial for the attack side to actually get those orb control because it's gonna fuel existence ultimate, which opens basically the entire B side. So it's gonna be crucial to play for those orbs, and we're gonna see that play very often. And Korea is gonna just smoke it out, grenade to just get info on someone being close. See, he went for the second orb, but this time he paid the price.
Mixwell had already rotated over, ready for them this time, and the pre-call, once they heard the steps, they realized these guys are playing off ult orbs. Well, that's just pre-nated. Chihuahua! What is that shot? After shot connect, this guy's a beast. We've talked about him a million times, and let's add one more to the count. At 3 versus 2, Artist in danger. He spots the Sage, but JD hits the Sheriff's shot, and this must be the wild west because there's too many damn sheriffs and they're all popping off
in town, right? But is this town big enough to for every single sheriff? It seems like it's only an NIP show in this round. My god, that round was nuts.
I mean,
that was insane.
Split's a map that's going to give you a lot of opportunities to find the range, the sweet spot for the sheriff, right? And you saw it there from every single kill coming in as a one-tap headshot. You're within that 15 meters. You're getting your 150 damage. It's easy peasy. A 30, right? So at that point, you're solid as can be. The thing is, you have to hit the first shot, but they did. Every one of them, and that's disgusting, let alone the fact that it started out with them moving towards ult orb control, getting the ult orbs, getting one of them at least, right? I don't think they got the one on A afterwards because the nade pushed them back, but they just go, okay, you know what, fine, we won't take the ult orb, we'll just win the round instead. Okay, that good by everyone? Okay, cool. And Existence died, so he did get an orb. He got a charge.
This is nuts. Like JD with Chihuahua just breaking his G2 back. It's insane. Like those sheriff shots is kind of interesting because, you know, you kind of feel like sheriff is not the best weapon on split because it's such a close range map, right? Most of the cases are just like you're gonna be in range of 20 meters from someone, maybe even closer. This is why also a lot of people prefer Phantom on this map. And sheriff just is kind of more of that mid-range, long-range gun, even though he doesn't deal 150 over 30 meters, right? But still, you prefer to have a frenzy, maybe a stinger, a bucky instead of it, but they go all in on those sheriffs, and that wins them the second round. And it's such a huge round.
It's absolutely massive. I mean, look at this. Again, you're going to see presence towards the A site. You can tell they're posturing to try and take that old door and take the opening frag. You talk about phantom usage. Well, there it is embodied. Ryan with the opening. Going to move towards heaven as well and look for some victims. Nade in. Not going to push anyone out of position, though. Lands over in the corner. Mixwell. He's got the stinger in hand. So this is nice. Patatek, he's going to try and bait them, right? But they're not seeing anybody. Might get cold feet. Start to back off. Mixwell then gets shot in the back. Never mind.
A good trade, though.
I like the fact that we have that mid control. The only problem for me is the fact that they were on a low buy, so it represents a pretty big risk. But I guess after they found that A site kill, you had the feeling there from Chihuahua that they would rotate up and play together as they couldn't afford like full weaponry. So you want to have some backup play off each other. So you realize, it's okay, maybe they've left rope room open. Let's go for it. It's a risk I don't necessarily like, but hey, it worked out here.
Yep. And by the way, we have a very similar position when it comes to Zeke and JD. They both play on Sages, when maybe you can say that Zeke didn't have a good showing on Icebox, and we had talked about that. But, you know, first of all, it can happen to everyone. Even if someone is super consistent, then he can have a bad map or something. But in general, Zeke, in my eyes, is the most consistent player in G2. And if he's being put on Sage, that's going to be super impactful if he's going to get those kills. And as you can see, he already had his ult out on round 3. So if they ever had an advantage after those trades, there was a good option to just res and even force that round out.
FPX are one of these other teams that plays so heavy around ult orbs, but you'll notice the difference with them is that they'll often use their brimstone smokes to block off angles, and it's something you can do with Omen as well. Obviously, it possibly even more so because they regenerate. But it's...
A Chihuahua with another first blood!
What?
This is not normally. They have to check his PC.
Chihuahua, very insane player. This is not normal. I love that copy pasta, bro. It's always...
I love it as well, man. It's so funny.
Makes me chuckle. But with that... Excuse me, Pith? Excuse... Alright, someone's been watching too much Fnatic.
A sip from a bottle and I almost choked. I was like, what just happened?
He just...
Why is this split? It's just like a show match of there's high noon, but it's a Bucky, it's a Sheriff. It's just nuts.
He's relocated as well. He's moving back up through heaven, clearing out these angles. If these players decide to go back up towards him, never mind that. If he gets the space to come in on this flank, he hears the steps, he knows they're running away. He's throwing away the bookie, so they've lost the round. Let's move on to the next one. Now, but the Vandal in hand, obviously, he should be looking that little bit better. He's rotating through spawn, but it's Mixwell on the back of the site, hiding. He hears the blast packs. He knows the players are close by. They've cleared heaven. All they have to worry about now is the site. He swings! There's one! Mixwell almost with the second. It was close, but a 2v3 turned into a 3... Oh, no, sorry. I read that at exactly the wrong time. They've just rezzed up Artist. So it's now a 2v2 Bucky from Zeke. This is just filth. If G2 walk away with this round, minds are going to be blown out there, but Zeke's got to do it all. The man's a beast, but the timing is terrible.
The timing.
It was close. He almost had it, but in the end, it's going to NIP 3-1. A good start to the attack inside, especially considering these guys lost the pistol, and they've only given one to G2 so far.
Yeah, this is like, I would say it's a back and forth from both teams, but it's so exciting to watch, right? It makes you happy to just see those gunfights, like all people going all out, like Big Swell with that headshot. If he would have pulled out our Chihuahua right there and then get that double kill from the Sheriff, man, nice. Not just a nice game. You know, it's such a difference from Bind as well, where we have seen a very one-sided show from G2, and now we're back to those close battles from both sides.
That's what we were hoping for when we came on to split. NIP obviously being the previous victors on this map, looking to knock G2 out. But there's a long road to go before we go into that narrative too deep. For now, It's 3-1, and it's NIP attacking towards the B site. This is a little bit weaker. Smoke into heaven, dash across with the blast packs. There's already a player on site as we switch to mixwell. He's taken down Rhyme. Support is coming in, and every fight's going their way. JD isn't long for this world after finding a frag, and with that, it's all down to 1. He hasn't been spotted on the back of the site, but they'll suspect that he can be here at this point. A 1v4 for Korea. The player walked out of the previous game with, I think, a 2.2 KD. Let's see if he can have a nice 4-1 in this. No.
He was definitely the top fragger for NIP in the previous map. 22 kills, by the way. But still, you could argue there were a lot of exit kills on those. But yeah, he was definitely the he was definitely the biggest fragger on bind. Even though it was only like what, 18 rounds? 13-5, right?
13-5, yeah.
All right, we have a match on our hands though. 2-3. Currently for NIP on attack. This round, what do we have here? A setup with this spike coming on A. 4 people. No map control at all for B. Kinda surprising knowing how NIP plays so far. Good info from that ultimate. Chihuahua with the lurk, but I mean, you can say that, but he actually goes not as first. Rhyme with the first blood. That was nuts.
Gorgeous start and a very impactful kill to get taken down Zeke, the guy that started this one out with a 4K on the pistol. Moving in towards the retake of A, very early positions. Mixwell can get up above that wall, so it's not too much of a concern if they want to start to push through. The only problem is the player right down below him, and that showstopper didn't get the kill. Chihuahua swings, he saves his teammate. This guy is a beast. 2 kills already on the board, and with that a 5v1. It's Mixwell left alone, still sat behind that wall in the defender spawn when his teammates fell. He just legs it, runs, tail between his leg to the B site. Oh man, oh man. Existence is the one hunting him down. He's got 1 HP. He's got balls of steel.
And like 3 people have 1 HP here. If they had a Bucky, they would have killed 3 people 1 shot.
Luckily.
This is why Bucky is the best gun in the game, by the way. Right?
All you gotta do is light them to 1 HP and get them to group up, and you can ace in 1 bullet. Easy.
My god, Chihuahua just going off. Impact kills, right? You can argue there's like a lot of stuff happening on the map, a lot of kills happening, but Chihuahua is pulling off those impact kills. And Rhyme also, of course, opened the round here with that first blood. It was very important for Korea to actually cross with JD. They got the wall on CT. Korea then teleported to elbow, was able to plant the bomb safely. But it was all up to Rhyme and Chihuahua who put the impact frags here.
Yeah, Chihuahua's especially, like, you have Existence stuck in a corner. He's just being ulted by a showstopper, barely survived, but that serves as the bait in the master plan. Those players peek to try and finish him off and initiate the retake, and instead, they just eat lead for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Chihuahua, he's had some insane rounds so far, and we'll see what more awaits us. 4-2 for NIP. Things are looking good. Existence trying to bait them out in mid, breaking that wall, but nobody's fallen for it just yet. Chihuahua up behind them, providing the support as they look to rotate in and push the B bomb site. It's a fault line going through. It hits in heaven, but they're not pushing on the back of it. This is all to serve as some sort of paranoia and keep players in position, but what it ends up doing is causing a rotate off the A site towards B. With a heavier stack here, this definitely cause for NIP to rotate to A, but they don't quite know that yet. And it looks like the utility they used early has almost dug their own grave.
It's like a double, triple fake even, because they were reloading the weapons while going loudly back to mid, and they were back, they did it again.
Oh no!
Oh my god, on B again, Patted with huge double kill.
Jeez, a double by Patatek. He could have even gotten more. Oh no, Mixwell in the perfect position, but Zeke from down below is the one to find all 3, leaving Chihuahua in a 1v3. He knows where Zeke is, but another 4K. 2 in the first 8 rounds. Come on.
Yeah, this is where the Phantom shines in a situation like this, where Zeke is in this, like, you know, few meters range of his opponent. He has a higher fire rate, sorry, and he kills with 1 headshot anyway, so he didn't mind having the lower damage, and Chihuahua just lost straight on that. You know, he shot 2 bullets, Phantom shot 4 bullets. Higher chance for Zeke to win that duel.
Gorgeous work. Really, like that position by Patatek, I feel like it got way less than I expected from it. And so that round was pretty much already in the bag. But when I saw Chihuahua in that 1v3, I'm thinking, here we go again. The guy's got it. Just about. Zeke pulls it off with a big 4K. And mixwell, the luckiest spam of that man's life, just came through. Kriya.
I mean, he heard the steps. Kriya was loud as hell going to those vents. So that was a free kill for Mixwell. Especially since the Phantom doesn't leave traces through the smoke. So no one could even like try to get a trade on Mixwell. They had no idea if he's actually on heaven shooting through the smoke or close up.
Really, the idea from Kriya there was like a faster paced Angel strategy. You'll see Angel and FPX going for the control and rope room a lot, but because Existence had flashed early for him, he had to kind of just run in instead of waiting until he was closer to pop that flash. It's not a bad play. You can completely catch them off guard with the timing that way, but the problem is you leave yourself open to plays like that with the spam. Joao was pushed out of the A site, but look at the rotates that are coming through. Pith is here now alongside Mixwell, and Patatek's right behind him. They break the wall, damage done. Players stuck in the corner is so low. Chihuahua is in serious trouble, but they don't know there's already one on site. Well, they do, because that wall went up, but Mixwell's clearing it out. He sees now, oh, they're lined up. Mixwell, a triple out of absolutely nowhere. NIP fall behind. Akukos, aka Existence, has got a lot to do, but Ryan chimes in with another. That spike planted for, that's not what he meant to do. That spike planted for them. All they have to do is keep the players off it, but it's being diffused. It's halfway as he goes through the smoke, and Ryan with a one, but what? Mixwell aced it. He caught it through the smoke on the second player. That's disgusting. And again, G2, it's a tight round. It's so damn close. But Mixwell pulling out the play when they need it the most. I mean, they've been struggling, especially around that mid control. And I have to say, actually, in the start of the previous round, I think the idea of pressuring Artis might have been topical, based off of how he's been playing so far. Artis isn't having the best of games, so they think, you know what? Let's up the pace, let's rush him down and take him out at the start of the round. Open ropes control, and it's an easy A take. They lose the player, they still make it work, but then Mixwell just tears those plans down real quick.
Yeah. It was actually really unlucky for NIP to lose Kriya so early in the round, because his smokes would have been so important on breaching A side as well. They couldn't like go without taking risks. Like, they couldn't go on A side. They had no smokes on Heaven. They had no smokes on CT. Because of that, Mixwell got at one frag, which allowed him to take control as well of Elbow. So maybe he wouldn't have pushed that, if there was a smoke. It would have been a very, let's say, just a risky play otherwise. So Kriya losing his life in the beginning was instrumental for G2. And that's all up to Mixwell here.
Yeah, massive plays, but really, for me, it's Chihuahua that's taking the crown right now. Zeke had that really good pistol round, comes up, finds another 4K later on, but it feels like we've just had 2 to 3 rounds that are, I wouldn't say exclusively Chihuahuas, but he's pulling the round massively into their favor, which is what I like to see. Doing it with a Sheriff, doing it with a Vandal, it doesn't matter. But it's also down to how they're playing off each other, and I feel like this is somewhere that if we had comms comparisons of before and after Existence, I think that right now you would see how much better it is with Existence in the team. And that's not necessarily saying with him even IGLing, just with him in the team in general. It refines everything so much. And in situations like that showstopper that happened down towards the bottom of A ramp, that really just showed exactly how clean they can be. He's cool, calm, and collected. He's just been hit with a rocket launcher. He's 1 HP, and he's like, "Don't worry, Chihuahua. You swing out, you get the kill, easy peasy," and it works out every time for them so far when they're in those tight situations.
And he's still pulling like his weight. He's being an IGL that gets first bloods. That's so valuable. Like, there's an excuse like on the. But I go with the nice shot. I want to say just there's an excuse that if you're an IGL, you don't have to kill, but Existence is putting that to shame, to be honest.
I think that excuse definitely exists in Counter-Strike, and I'll justify it there, but in a game like Valorant, everything's so fast-paced, it's just not acceptable. And we've seen CS games with top-level IGLs, like Exist, for example. Sorry to call you out, Exist. But I've seen games where he had like 4 kills. And then, oh man, Rhyme, he'd spotted Patatek, but he thought he could just clear out a couple closer corners. Oh, okay, I thought that was going to be Patatek's round.
Was close.
It really was. Existence left on a sliver of health, but there is still a...
Oh, Clean up from JD.
That is huge. Oh, JD's got another
kill.
The rolling thunder goes through. We're watching that while JD just domes people again and again. Now Pith is the only one left. Screw the HP on existence. You've got JD to deal with. Breaking the wall gives away his position, but there's the shot. Pith has no idea where this player is, but he knows he's dropped the spike. And there's the shots. Gives it away as existence runs for his life to plant that spike down. Now's the test. Oh, he thinks that the player's already pushed through into heaven, that he would beat you.
Timing. What? Piff doesn't peek it.
So close. He takes his knife out at the wrong time, but now makes it into heaven. He's going to go for the B site by the looks of things. 15 seconds? You got to run with your knife out, and it's not going to happen. He sees now the wall is still up. There's only one place he can be. Existence has the idea with the timing, but he drops out of heaven. 8 seconds. This is going to be so tight. Does he stick it or does he go for the fight? He has no idea where Pith is now as the spike is eventually planted. The peek comes through and Pith closes the round in a 1v2. That is spectacular from Pith, but JD very nearly pulled that all the way back for them.
JD with the insane triple kill, and it was so unlucky for him to get sprayed from full HP through that wall when he was crossing on heaven to the site. That was a really good shot by Piff there, but man, this round was close.
It was insanely.
Oh,
I think
look at JD's scoreline right now. 12-6. We're ult ready. Can you imagine having an ult after that triple kill he had? He was missing one orb.
Yeah.
To actually just win it alone.
That's all it takes, right? One orb that he found along the way, one extra kill, anything. It could have, it's like the butterfly effect, right? Something that happened 3 rounds ago can actually win the round for you now, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way, and so we get 5 for G2 defensive side. Remember, this team is scary on the attack, so for me now, NIP need to step it up. They need to hit that accelerator hard, and they've realized there's a lot of control being given to them. The problem is, first, they've made noise, and secondly, they've got a tripwire, so no matter what, the information was going to go towards G2 in this instance. It looks like Patatek's thinking about dropping down there. He's not seeing anybody, not seeing any feet. There's noise being made, but it really feels like he's being baited in, and that's because he is. Really, this is both Omens just waiting for the other to make a move, and look who's going to go first. It's Kriya down below, but the timing. Oh, it's God tier, but hold on.
He's going back.
He's checking it. He's aware.
But he's going to go down right now, right?
It feels like it.
Oh my.
It feels like he's thinking about it. No, he's thinking about it, but really he's just trying to get a wider angle. Now here comes Existence. Flash! It goes behind him, so Patatek's able for the double. Kriya eventually deals with him. Chihuahua pushing forward on the site, loses the duel to a Spectre. Artist now will just play the back of the site. He's got his blast packs to get out if he needs to. This is dangerous now for NIP. They need this round. They've got heaven control, but mid has been taken off them. They are trapped in, boxed in with 20 seconds left to go. The full team of G2 rotating in. Zeke has heard the drop. He knows the players are here. He's baiting them out, trying to distract his Artist. Picks them off one at a time. Only ammo is limiting him as he runs out eventually, but JD with 6 seconds left, he had no chance in the 1v3. They were just swarming him. 6-4. Oh me, oh my.
That was an Artist show right here. He didn't have a lot of kills the entire game. It was just one. But in this round, that Spectre, that was what held this round together with Patatek, actually. That double kill on the on Vents was also pivotal, but Artist had to keep control of A side, because otherwise it would have been an easy plan for them. And because Artist was still holding that angle and killed Chihuahua, who typically lurks and gets map control for NIP, was just so big. Artist did step up in this round.
Yeah, he did so much work for them. Chihuahua, that's unfortunate. He walks out at just the wrong time, getting caught by the boombot. They're going to look to do it with the Sheriffs again. The showstopper comes through, but the dash, it's not enough. The Zeke they were aiming for up on the rafters. Rhyme in with another afterwards before he goes down. And this is winnable, perfectly winnable, especially with Pith's HP. There's going to need to be some healing up going on, and that's Existence that gets the health regen back to 100. Leaving Chihuahua nice and low. Artist, that's a free kill, but he misses it. Goes for default, but takes down JD afterwards. They know exactly where both players are now, but hold on. Pith is so low. A 1v2 that was winnable, but Pith closes it out nonetheless. Peaking on 5 HP versus pistols. It's not something I'd advise, but it worked out there with 7-4 now.
Man, it feels like if you're an NIP fan right now, you're gonna have to say unlucky. Like those 3 rounds in a row were really unlucky for NIP. They had advantages and there were just some unlucky timings. Like JD almost pulling off 1 round on his own, right? Then got sprayed through the wall. They didn't, then Existence didn't clutch it. But man, this match is exciting to watch. And now in this round, a quick peek from Artis on A lobby, very aggressive. Chihuahua lurking there, has to change his position, gave away his position as well because of the jump. They're still trying to fight.
Oh, man.
And he loses to Artis. And this is the last round.
That cage usage was perfect to get him out of the fight, but then he tries to reinitiate, I guess catch him off guard, but it does not work. This time they push down. They push down into vents, but they don't break the tripwire. Maybe it's a little bit further back this time. Maybe they pre-fired and didn't get it. That's, see, that's going to leave the information into the hands of G2. For NIP, that could be detrimental. TP up into heaven, they know where Pith is at least, but it doesn't really give them that much information to play off of. There's still 2 players on the B site. And had they had that info, they wouldn't be going here. But now they run right into mixwell, who's just tapping them away with some knives. He's up close. He's looking for some right clicks, and he closes the round with it.
Yeah.
8-4 at the halftime. G2 swapping onto their attacking side. And I did give the caveat that, okay, in the previous time that these 2 teams played, it was 13-5 to NIP, but that was G2 on a very, very bad day, a bad game at least. And we heard it from the players afterwards as well. Now we're seeing what happens when Zeke shows up on that Sage. Mixwell's there to back him up as well, and even Artis towards the last couple of rounds has been showing up. I find it hard to see how NIP are going to recover this one now in the defense.
Yeah, it's as I said before, this is actually an attacker's base map, especially in pro play. So not winning more rounds than they did right now is going to put them on a test, and hopefully we're going to see them pulling their weight. Super quick. Execute on A side. Existence was actually a little bit late with that fault line, but the aftershock makes sure that no one crosses here, and Rhyme actually got a kill with the grenade.
Yeah.
With the, that was actually impressive because they stopped the super fast execute on A side.
This is it, right? The stopping power of the comp when you have your Raze in the right position. She was playing A heaven, so it's very easy to just swing out, pop the nade, run away. But they've still got 3 players towards this A site, plus 1 in ropes, with mid walled off, but it now broken. B side is under heavy threat. It's the advanced position of Chihuahua that lets them keep that control, but with JD falling, Chihuahua is going to be the key player. He's over towards the garage and being peeked. They're expecting it, but with Pith falling, this becomes very difficult to hold on to any semblance of pushing towards that side. They have no control of heaven. They needed to take garage, and with that, they'll wait for Patatek to full heal up and then look to just take some fights as a 2-man. They're going to need to hit some serious headshots to pull this one off, because the HP isn't even low, really, on anybody except for the Raze.
It's such a weird play by Piff as well, when he just wanted to peek alone, when he knew, right, that Chihuahua was just holding that angle. But yeah, it's a close timer on it. 10 seconds left. You know, this is just like schooling here right now by Existence and NIP. This round was so well executed. They stopped, the utility stopped the rush in on the A side. They got the info. The only thing that could have gone better was JD getting the information on Patatek crossing mid and just going back and playing full retake 5 versus 3, but he lost the duel in mid. But it was such a well played round by NIP, very structured and disciplined.
And with that locked away, NIP have got the pistol. If they follow through on the second, we should be able to see them close in that scoreline. Again, the question being, would G2 go in for the full force? And they've not gone for it. We see Stingers, excuse me, as I was saying, the previous map, feature a lot in the game so far in VCT, but the force buys are not something G2 want to mess with, which is funny, because to me, out of everybody, G2 would be the ones to do it, right? To make that uber confident play, but not this time around. And they're going to break this wall, stop them from jumping up on top, and get a clean shot as they come on through. But with the position that we currently have, I think NIP, they just want to force ranged engagements. They know that they've got rope room. You see how open it is, but there's a tripwire. As soon as that gets destroyed, which is right about now they get a bit worried and they have to fall back from that A position or continue pushing.
I really like how they play. No one is going in to get map control. They know they have the superior weapons. They know they have those advantages. No, oh my god! Existence with the triple kill, and he did so much damage. Rhyme is just cleaning up.
Well, that was almost an ace from Existence there. The 3k, the others are low. You see Artis's HP after that engagement. It's just nice and easy peasy. JD closes it out. Existence being a very important player to find those kills, because with those charged up, that's 3 charges for his ultimate, right? Which puts him in a nice
He's
position.
one off right now.
Exactly, one orb.
If he gets just one orb, which we'll probably see, they're gonna probably just play an aggressive A lobby control to get that orb, so they will be able to use his ultimate for a retake, because this is the most important round of all. They have this time, when you compare it to the other round, now they're on the lower buy. They have specters against rifles, so they need to make up the difference with the utility. And Existence with his ultimate can allow NIP to take control of a retake.
I don't believe what we've just seen in a way. Rhyme, he uses blast packs to just rush down middle and take a fight onto Mixwell, who wasn't even aware the round had started. Exaggeration, obviously, but he's been wrecked on that one with a super aggressive play, which is what you want when you're playing with Spectres. You want to catch your opponents off guard. Now, though, JD, okay, I thought he was just going to run straight out. Thankfully, he was just jump peeking it, sees that they're here, and just backs off, walls them off, and plays alongside his teammate. Pith tagged up to 15, finished off. Here comes the Spectre, but it's not going to find the frag. Artist dealing with him and another to put it into an even fight. For G2, this isn't how they wanted the round to start, but they're pulling it back for sure until Korea, talking of backs, comes in and backstabs. Wall up now to cross over, but JD's still holding his headshot angle. It wasn't expected, so he's able to pull it all the way back. Hold on, JD's in trouble. He can jump. Oh, he can't jump back up.
Oh no, he gave away his position as well.
He knew he was at the wall at least, so they should know that he was close. It's his teammate that I'm looking at. The head was spotted. I don't know if he fully realizes that, though. Patatek swinging around, misses the shot. Player drops down. There's the paranoia. It hits. Patatek stuck in the back. 20 seconds left. He has to go for the spike plant soon, and they'll either just delay the time or go for the peak together. Oh no, Patatek! He still hits the shot, sticking it now up close. JD knows that it's been stuck, knows where the player is. He's gonna bide his time for the reload and take the frag all the way.
Play.
Gorgeous.
Perfect play by JD. Like, he could have maybe peeked through the smoke when he heard the plant, but that would have been a risky play. So he waited out the plant. He knew exactly, because of the way Patatek played before, he emptied his clip, so he knew that he's gonna get sound cues of what exactly Patatek is doing. He had one bullet in his clip. Maybe Patatek should have not reload, just switch to his weapon to not give out the sound cue, but he went for the reload, gave away his position. That was the moment for JD to push. Even whatever weapon he had an advantage.
Exactly. Even if it was a classic, the dude has no bullets in his gun. That's always going to be an upside. 8-7, one round between them after winning out the pistol and winning the previous. And we mentioned the value of Rolling Thunder in the previous round, right? When you've got Spectres in your hands, you'll take anything you can get. And they were 6 out of 7 charges, but they didn't even need it. It was the blast pack play down middle that opens it and then puts G2 into this frenzied psyche where they're trying desperately to pull back the frags, looking for any advantages and just putting themselves out of position again and again. I think at this point, if you're NIP with one round between you, and the buy that G2 have, there's a smile on your face. Things are getting better for now. But we did mention many times how typically you would see the attacking side on Split do a lot for teams. For G2 in particular. So you still have to be that little bit worried. Look at this Artist gaining so much map control here, using the blast back in towards the spawn. It's not going to land, and he tries to nade Rhyme, but it doesn't matter because Rhyme's traded out by his teammate. Rolling Thunder puts these players up into the air. They're shooting their teammates. JD was disorientated, didn't know where he was, but then a Kukos Existence catches off Mixwell. Chihuahua down below with a double to finish the round off, and that was a mess of a round, but one that goes the way of NIP.
Sides, actually. Yeah, it was kind of funny to see JD just being so confused because he got hit by the Rolling Thunder. He got stunned. Then he thought someone is on the heaven, started shooting his own teammate. Was a little bit unlucky for JD to be on that spot, but I understand why Existence went for the Rolling Thunder, because it was so important to stop a rush on Heaven B when JD was in an off position. So it was actually helping more JD than his opponents. Artist, unfortunately, with no kill on his showstopper, put a dent into the plan from G2. But I really like how G2 wanted to force this, because we have to take into account that they were coming into this half with a 8-4 scoreline. So when they lost the pistol round, they knew they have a buffer, so they don't have to force the second round after the plant on pistol round. So they went for the full eco because they knew they have a huge advantage on the third round. Losing that third round when they lost basically against 5 specters with 5 rifles, right? They needed to force because the gap is closing. And this was another important round for G2 that they couldn't close out. They were met with something that they unfortunately fed in the previous rounds. Existence used his ult. All the utility just paid dividends for NIP, so it's really a tough situation for G2 right now.
100%. You know, when I look at G2 in those second rounds after they lose the pistol, the thing that always rings home to me is towards the first couple months of this game, or even the last couple months, really before December, you'd be in this position where you'd be like, well, obviously they save here, and no, they force bot, because they're always such a confident team. I think that's something that's changed a little bit, where they can still be confident, but they can play a bit smarter at times, right? Not always just ego their opponents. And I think it shows the respect that they have for NIP, because a lot of other teams wouldn't have gotten that. Korea, he wins the duel. Crab walking into the corner. He allows to get himself close enough that that blind doesn't matter.
We play on 201.
Exactly.
Crab walking alone.
Well, the run and guns are working out, at least for now. You're seeing NIP take the lead. JD with a wallbang shot right down middle onto Artist, but Pith returns the favor, opens up A a little bit overeager on the peak there from Existence, going straight down, leaving the A side a little bit exposed. And the problem here is, as they move to reinforce A, they're leaving mid completely open. And where Korea...
And this is a good read by G2, because JD has the ultimate, so he wants to go for that res on Heaven A. Because of that, G2 is allowed to just take control of mid, because they know he is gonna rotate, and no one else will be here.
I think one of the issues you're gonna face... the spike is moving in. Before... Korea was in a position where he could have been cut off without that being broken, but now with 10 seconds left, they know that you're coming. This is dangerous. You're going to hit every shot. Patatek gets one, but there's the showstopper, and that's the round stopper too.
Time is gone.
It's over, right? There was 6 seconds left as that rocket left the launcher, and so we go into a round advantage. The lead for NIP at long last. It's been a while since they've had this, but now 9-8 on a map where they previously trashed G2. Could this be where the giants of Europe fall behind and fall out of the first set of Challengers qualifiers?
I mean, this is a little bit tough for G2. They were slow on the execute as well. They took the mid control. I'm really surprised they didn't go for a B execute in the previous round, to be honest.
You never know what's going on inside the heads. It might have been a small read that they made in one of the previous rounds. Again, they don't have the same info as us, as well as the other thing. It's hard to even see it from their perspective, exactly what they're reading, exactly what they're not. At nade, it's not going to do anything. A little bit early, but it's all just posturing. Oh no, down into the boom bot. Look at the damage that's done. Mixwell dashes up into heaven, but Rhyme finishes off Artist. All down to utility. Rhyme in with a second. There goes the blast pack. It's not going to get anything done, but he's refreshed his nade. Oh, Korea. He just got heavy pressured. And with that, NIP, they close out the round 10-8. A nice attempt by G2 to up the pace and to really catch them off guard. Fake the B Heaven play, run down through vents, but the problem with that is the timing. I don't know what kind of a read Rhyme just had on them coming down through vents, but he threw his boombot there. They had no idea.
It's just like, this is the moment when you play a game, you see the boombot, you're on the rope, you can't do anything. The boombot initiates his like rage walk or whatever you call it and deals just so much damage. Rhymes gets 3 kills with his grenade as well. It's nuts. By the way, look at how well the flashes are synergized with the peaks and the utility that NIP is using on B defense. It's really so cool to watch how Existence is using his his flashes. Oh wow, what a timing from Chihuahua on his trap.
That's a great read. Now we move on to... Oh, hold on. Chihuahua's right next to Mixwell. He heard the dash.
He knows where his mixwell is.
There we go. Mixwell. How does he get away with it with Korea falling? This side is now theirs for the taking. They rush down. They'll get the spike planted for Heaven as well. Sage on her way to maintain the control and just hold it for the crossover. Rhyme spots them and just makes his way into the spawn. But now they've got to worry because Rhyme is completely boxed off, isolated. There's info now. There's at least, well, they know exactly where all three of them are, right? Nade through, peek in, Zeke with another, and this is looking terrible for NIP. G2 answering back in the 4v2 as Rhyme looks for one and catches in Holly. What is this? But it's open for Heaven. That's where the plant is. It's so hard to make this one work. The nade not even going to cover for the window peek as Rhyme eventually gets there. He's been spotted and they know he's not on it now with that jump peek. All he can do is try to bait them out into another quick peek. He didn't even get that halfway, did he?
Yeah, he had 36 HP. He basically dies to a one-shot from the Vandal. Such a tough position to be in, but he did hurt the economy from G2 a lot right now with that double kill. So, as you can see, one Spectre being bought. Actually, Piff can buy him a weapon. What is this?
We'll see if they finish it out like that. The communication is, you know, most likely going to come through like, yo, I got you, bro.
There's a tactical pause coming in. Not sure from which side, actually.
I presume either way,
but hey,
Pit's going to be dropping over unless he hasn't bought all his utility, which he hasn't. Oh no, that's Chihuahua. Never mind. Yeah, I'd rather go without utility than have Artist with no weapon. But then again, you never know. Maybe because he's not having a great game, he's like, nah, screw it, just keep it for a future round or something. Don't know how it's going down.
That previous round, though, if Chihuahua would have caught Mixwell in that duel, could have gone the other way around. Like, he actually had a nice read on the position on Mixwell because of that dash and the shots that he made as well.
I guess I can see the idea he was going for, though. Those other players were still caught behind the cage, right? So he steps to the left of the cloudburst thinking, okay, well, Mixwell's just come here. This whole area in their head right now, it's clear. There's no one there. It's a cloudburst covering the window. We're good. He could peek out, catch one or two of them. Problem was, it only lasts 4 seconds. So very quickly that cloudburst disappears. Mixwell just shoots him in the side and it's GG'd up in that round. 10-9, man. This is the kind of third map that we were hoping that we would get. And we're jumping back into the game now to see exactly what they have planned for us. Artist does look like he's going to start the round out with a bulldog and Pith will not be dropping him. This is an interesting. Small point.
Yeah, right. I would love to know why.
Well, with Korea turning up as he is, I don't know how Artist just ended up getting pushed downwards by that one, but his nade got a kill anyways. Traded out his teammates and put it into the 2v2 spike, retrieved as they move towards the site, and that plant will come in. A 2 versus 2 retake is tough to make happen when you haven't got the info on the second player, and this is where Zeke could have been huge, but he got caught off, and Chihuahua coming up, not finding the play. Artist looks for more, but it's not going to happen. Ultimately, the Battle of the Raises goes to Rhyme, and with that, it's 11-9. It's, I mean, we're in dire straits for G2. They're on the verge of potentially being knocked out of this stage of challengers if they lose just these next 2 rounds, or 2 of the next rounds.
Yeah. I was actually, this round fell apart a little bit because Artist failed his double satchel. He got stopped basically under rafters, if I'm not mistaken, at the beginning of the execution. So he couldn't help out his teammates a little bit earlier. He got the frag with his grenade, but he was still a little bit late on it. Still, very close round. Maybe could have been a clutch. One would think to point out one more thing is when you plant the spike with your weapon out, you halve the equip time, and we could have seen Artist plant with his knife out, so he basically forgo that.
Look at the ultimates right now for NIP. They're stacked up so heavily. It'd be tough to...
You know, it's funny because we said about JD using his ultimate so often, right? But he has that ultimate now for like, I think, 4 rounds.
He's had it for a while. It's the showstopper I'm looking at, though, because mid control is where they're looking to go. Ryan wants to break that wall. There's the showstopper, and it stops Zeke's show for sure. Korea returning to that position that we'd seen the enemy Omen use earlier on, and Chihuahua quickly closes it. A double to finish that round. 12-9 we go. 1 out of 3. That's all that NIP need now, and they will be knocking out G2, a team that everybody doubted coming into this. G2 were the favorites on paper for sure, and you could see that the support was out for them. But NIP, Icebox, they fixed every single problem that they had. They looked so much better than they did in the first run around. And although they beat G2 13-5, catching them on an off day on split, we knew that even though it wouldn't be as clean, they had a chance. Now, they have 3 chances to end it here and now and not go to an overtime.
Well, they're underpaid right now. G2 with not a full horror on them. They get a kill, a big opening. JD still, again, we're not gonna see his ultimate. Patitech with the frag on Chihuahua. Big opening on B. They can rush in and plant.
They can go for it for sure, and you can see they are. A 3v... Oh, hold on. Repositioning that one, get it a little bit more open, because look at the control they've got. Everywhere is locked down, and it's all theirs. You'd swear there was a Killjoy on the server, but hold on. Maybe it's not locked down quite so much. A Kukos, or Existence, and Korea both find kills. Peek up on top of the wall, about to come through, but he goes all the way off. Zeke, that's a misplay. Korea able to easily take him out, and now it's an even fight on the retake. Korea waiting for someone to peek him, but Mixwell's not going to be giving that away. He's hiding down below and waiting. Patitech is the point man here to catch them as they push on forward. Patitech wants to move on through. He sees.
Whoa, that was a close one.
Takes him down. That was close. That was very, very close. The barrel protruded in the smoke, and yet it still took a second to react. 12-10. Lothar.
This was the round where G2 had to show up. They had weak hardware. They were playing with Spectres. They were playing, if I'm not mistaken, with one Stinger. So basically, that was all or nothing. And they're still on the lower buy. As you can see, 3 rifles, 1 Stinger, small shields from Mixwell. He has his ultimate to make a difference as well. But it's still not the perfect buy. So NIP still has the advantage. They're still on the match point. G2 knows they cannot make a single mistake. They go over a very slow execute, getting some map control. They did make a small fake on A, left their Sage. Zeke trying to get more info, I guess, for some lurkers on A. In the meantime, they're getting map control on mid, destroyed the Sage wall from NIP. Will they go to vents? They know there's a trap in vents. So we have seen this before, Chihuahua getting an easy kill on the trap. Here, there's the blast back to destroy the trap, but he doesn't know that there was a reposition on the trap, so they now think that they got that info out, and NIP will be aware of that someone will be in vents, but there's still trap there. Now it's being destroyed.
It's going to be destroyed at the right time as well. The smoke goes in towards the spawn as they look to crunch in on Korea. His support is slowed a little bit. In goes the Rolling Thunder. Mixwell, though, still pursuing the player on the site, and Korea's dropped. Rolling Thunder gave them control of Heaven for a little bit, and the trade is there. Oh, no! How is Existence able to do that? He was spotted as well inside the smoke. He avoids everything. Now it's a 4 versus 3. Heals up for Existence as well. 4. There's the res back by Zeke, which is quickly denied. A peek in by JD to shut Mixwell down before he'd fully rezzed on up. 1-man advantage, but they've got to get back in here, and they're lacking the ultimates now. That Rolling Thunder could be invaluable, but JD, he grabs it onto Patitech. They'd already used the Aftershock, but Zeke and Pith, quick to react, catching every kill. It's left down to JD. He found 4Ks before. Can he do it again? Gives away his position. Classic out, and there it is. A 4K to close out the game. NIP eliminate G2, and Mixwell's already off the server and out of the qualifier. That is a huge upset now for EU Valorant.
My god, what a match. I mean, the bind wasn't that interesting to watch, but Icebox and Split such a fantastic showing from both teams, man.
And it is so amazing to see NIP so quickly. I mean, they made roster changes very recently, only just picking up the majority of this lineup. But Rhyme, back on that duelist, is able to deliver now a little bit more. Really, though, the credit has to go to the wonderful JD and the big brain of existence. These guys combined with Chihuahua. I mean, look, it's great to watch this team. The whole team. Yeah. I don't want to single one player, two players, all five of them. They've just beaten G2. Another hiccup on the road of G2 Valorant. We'll discuss more about that, though, when we come back from a break, because we've got to throw over to one now. See you real soon.